video separately.
Dang, I thought we were live.
And we're live. Hey, Justin, since you actually have a Facebook thing, can you go to the Best Damn Bookkeeping and grab it and share it from there? Or you might be able to do it right in StreamYard. I don't know. Maybe.
Can I go hot dog style for this?
You can. Yeah, you got to do whatever you got to do.
Okay.
What's up? Am I MTV on the very blurry?
No,
Takes a minute.
No, you just freeze every now and then, but it works.
You're good.
Okay. We'll tough it out. Well, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Home Service Happy Hour. It's a Tuesday. It's not a Wednesday. Usually we do this on a Wednesday. We're doing it on a Tuesday because that's just the day that worked. And I'm up at the cabin, as you can tell by some of these fish here. They look like fish that would be at a cabin. And that's how you can tell I'm at a cabin. And when you're at a cabin, you're up in the middle of nowhere, and therefore your internet sucks. Such as mine. So we're just gonna do it. We're gonna do it anyway.
What kind of fish is that big one on the bottom?
This is a big ass. It's hard. It's balanced. That's a king salmon, a Chinook. I think it was like a 37 pounder in Lake Michigan. It was a big mamma jamma. That one's
that's the one I got right on Meat Eater.
That one's also a king salmon, just a different color of mount and caught in the fall. And I want to say I was like a 22 pounder, which we thought was big when we caught it. And then that's a 37 pounder, and you can tell by the way that they are, that one's bigger. That was a big rainbow trout my mom caught. Rainbows usually don't get very big. That was an 18-pound rainbow trout. Big ass.
That's
rainbow.
A monster.
Steelhead. Big motherfucker. What's up, guys? We got just let me do some introductions. Let me do some choppy ass bad internet introductions. We got Justin Noggle below me on my screen. I don't know where he is on your screen, but it says Justin Noggle, so you probably can tell which one he is on your screen. He's out in the Seattle area trying to get this thing to go to wherever on Facebook. We can't see his video.
Yeah, I'm in Milwaukee.
Oh yeah, you are in Milwaukee. Usually out in Washington. Now in Wisconsin, just to try to be closer to the hub of where this is all happening. Where are you right now? Where are you? What were you doing in Milwaukee? You had cousins? You had a wedding?
Yep. Yeah. So I was trying to log into the friggin' Facebook, but yeah. So I went to my cousin's wedding and I visited with Nick DeMark, my business coach. So that was pretty sweet. So he's like 10 minutes from the wedding venue, and his house is like 10 minutes from the hotel, or vice versa. It's kind of crazy.
That worked out.
Yep. And then I'm going to visit Sam Gemble tomorrow over in Detroit. So watch some fireworks over the lake at his house. So that'll be sick.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Road trip. What would you crack? What'd you just crack over there? A beast ice.
Milwaukee's best. Win in Rome.
Ice.
This is horrible. Dude.
Yeah, it is. That's like when
I've never had a Milwaukee's best. I didn't know. It just said best. I figured it was good.
Yeah,
I think we had better.
Go ahead, Dor.
We had better cocktails just with the Mio than what you're drinking right there.
Yeah, I didn't make it to the store. I was gonna get some Mio.
Instead, the Beast Ice. That looks like a big one too. That looks like a pounder.
Oh, dude, yeah, it's a 16 ouncer. I got my 4-pack here. Who sells a 4-pack?
They know nobody's gonna have like more than a couple and be like, I want more of these.
So yeah, I was looking for spotted cow. Like, I mean, spotted cow is the shit.
You went in a wildly different direction. You went the exact opposite route.
I just realized that.
Yeah, pour it on ice. They call it a Beast Ice because you're supposed to pour it on ice to hope it dilutes the shittiness of the flavor. That's how that one works.
I mean, there's not a lot of flavor there to begin with, but it's not very good.
It tastes like alcohol. Just tastes like alcohol.
Yeah.
It's like college.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like,
definitely a reminder of college.
Yeah, I should have gone with the old English.
To keep dealing the cards here, we got Tor Blackstad in the house from the CEO of Green Power Monitor USA. Tor's a staple of the Boundary Waters trip. First time on the show, though. Justin's been on the show a couple times. Tor has yet to be on the show until now.
I'm happy to be popping the cherry with you, buddy.
It's happening. And we got Moose,
live.
aka Josh Little, but mostly just Moose. One of those guys where when you get introduced to him, you don't know his name for like a couple of years.
Yeah,
you
Moose with 6.
You just know Moose, but his name is actually Josh Little. But he's not that little. He's actually pretty big, which comes in handy when he's in the front of your canoe. Yeah, he's like a moose. How you doing, Moose?
Glad to be here. So this is my first time as well on the podcast. So
yeah, popping the cherries. I was gonna have a beer, but then I felt like, given how we do the Boundary Waters trip, I should have a cocktail. So I made a margarita. I don't know if
sounds
you guys
way better. That's way better than
better than the margarita mix that we brought into the Boundary Waters. Like that margarita mix stuff isn't great. It's like gut rot city. This is good. This is a good one.
Yeah, that and the rum was rough. But the margarita mix went fast. I feel like it was like day 2 or 3. It's gone.
Yeah, because it turned into one of the jugs for jug fishing.
Is that what cut our pike?
No, the Country Time lemonade canister.
Yeah. Okay.
A little white jug.
It was a little bit of a haze for me. I don't remember much.
I want to do like a setup here, and then we'll kind of go round robin with some stuff. For those tuning in the podcast or tuning in live, if you tune in live, throw some comments in, ask some questions, throw some bullshit at us, because that's kind of what this episode is all about. Is just bullshit. But if you've never done like a wilderness way out there excursion, that's kind of what this is. But we work really hard to make it the opposite. We're going 20 miles back into the middle of nowhere, roughly. And we're hauling all of our shit on canoes, and we got to carry it 5-6 times. I think we do 5 portages or 6 portages?
It was a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot.
It was a lot. But most were short. One long one. It was 6. I think it was 6. So 6 times you got to get out of your canoe, carry all your shit and your canoe over to the other side, put it back in the water, reload, probably take a swig or two of peanut butter whiskey, or what was the other whiskey that we had for sipping? Honey.
What was on the way in?
Fireball.
Well, Fireball for you guys on the way out. But we had the peanut butter thing because we kept saying if we just had like a jelly whiskey, we just have a sandwich and that'd be delicious.
Yeah.
But we had like honey caramel, I think. Like a caramel honey. Something like that.
Oh, that was just your canoe. You didn't share that. You should have shared that.
Oh, sorry, dude.
It was just Dan. I don't remember any honey.
Oh, that's just me. I might have had that one.
Justin, I don't know if you remember much of the canoe out. You might have been enjoying some of that meal quite a bit.
Yeah, I know. I remember Dan doing most of the paddling, and I was doing a lot of talking.
Well, we have a.
So for those of you that have not gone 20 miles into the wilderness before to get out of there, you want someone in the front of your canoe that's actually going to paddle. just giving you a pro tip.
Especially when you have the long canoe.
and I also want to make sure everybody knows that Tor knows this, because usually he's in the front of my canoe not paddling. And I think Tor told Justin, like, hey, if you're in the front of Dan's canoe, we all play this trick on him where we don't paddle much. We're looking at our phones, we're playing music, we're having a drink, we're whatever.
We're documenting the experience.
I was shooting ducks, dude. Right? I was trying to get us dinner.
Lots of selfies.
You did make a duck shit his pants.
Yeah.
On the way out, on the way back home.
Yeah.
You did make a duck shit his pants.
Yep.
But so we're going 20 miles in the back into the middle of nowhere. In kind of a ridiculous way, we actually had cell phone service kind of on and off. Not strong enough for Justin to stream music the way that he tried to, and he burned out all the batteries really quick, but enough that you could like download something if you needed it. But normally you just don't have no cell phone service, and so you're just out in the middle of nowhere, canoeing, fishing, fires, cooking over fires, that sort of thing. And in this specific trip, this was a revenge trip. Typically, we try to go to a new spot every year. In this case, was it 4 years ago, Moose? 3 years ago? 4 years ago?
4 years ago.
4 years ago, Moose and I went with 2 other dudes, one a buddy of ours, and then a fourth that was a buddy of his, that we just overshot that guy's potential, and it turned pretty horrendous. And so did the weather. In that dude's defense, like, we got in some shit, and we all separately in our canoes, we separated, we did stupid shit. We both capsized in our own ways. We were all okay, but we got split up for a night, and we finally got to a camp, but the water was too high. We couldn't go where we wanted to go. We had to cut the trip short by a day. The fishing wasn't great. And so still cool experiences. And I mentioned it in my write-up for this episode of, when you do these trips, sometimes they go ridiculously well and they're super fun. Sometimes they go really shitty. And as long as you don't die or get seriously hurt, they're still ridiculously fun. They're just kind of fun later because it's the shit you all talk about and reminisce on. It's the old type 2 fun, as Steve Ranella would call it. And so we had a type 2 fun trip a couple of years ago. And I'd say this was a type 1 fun trip we did this year. Our revenge trip went so well. We prepared for the worst. We had our tarps up. We were ready. We had the blow up couch ready to go. We'll get into that.
Well, sectional L couch, mind you, not just any couch. It's a sectional L couch.
Well, sectional L couch. Also, seconds as a extreme floaty, really good extreme floaty.
The best,
unless you hit a rock with it or something. But this year it was a revenge trip, and we revenged the hell out of it. Smooth weather going in. One maybe pop-up rain shower that like second night or something that we thought was going to be intense, and it just wasn't. And it was like, it was nonstop good weather, nonstop good fishing. Fish aplenty on the stringer. Justin and I didn't fish much because Moose and Tori just kept filling up the stringer. It was like, I don't know, we're just going to end up killing a bunch of walleyes. And we did have to like
so many
some dead ones at the end. We had so many fish. I'm curious.
I think Dan, I think you're talking a lot about how we positioned ourselves for luck, man. We learned a lot in those first couple years. I didn't go the first year, but when the first year I did show up, I brought my ultralight camp chair, and I realized that I had no fucking idea what I was getting myself into, because I look over and you guys have like reclining chairs with cup holders on the side, and I'm on a chair where my leg is the third like stool of the chair.
Yeah, you're on a 2-legged chair, and your 2 legs make up the other 2 legs of the chair.
And we started playing some P&A, and the A from every game ended up having to sit in that chair as punishment. That was how bad I was prepared for the first year. And then
if you didn't go to college, at least not in the realm of the time that we all did, P&A stands for presidents and assholes. And the president gets to dish out rules, and the asshole gets rules put upon them, one being
and the most drinks.
Then they drink a lot, and then they stay the asshole.
It's a drinking focused activity. Yeah,
very drinking focused. Usually played on a rain day, which we didn't really get this year.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, we played it. We played it on a we have too much walleye day.
Yeah, we had to self-induce a drinking card playing day because Mother Nature didn't even give us one. We were just like, the last day we were like, well, we missed this experience, so we're just gonna force it. Gotta make it happen. That is a good point though, Torres. And for everybody out there, like most people going in the boundary waters are carrying like a pack or 2, maybe a person. And a lot of them still double back on their portages. But when we go, we have like 4 packs a dude. Like both, like we still double back. It's pretty heavy going in, especially the booze bags. And like the 28 fishing poles we bring, and the transducer setups and the pole holders. We go hard. We're out there to slay some fish. And
Moose, how many bags did you
booze?
How many bags did you pack of booze, Moose? Was it 3?
No. You mean Plata's bags? It was 2.
Yeah, the green bags.
2.
2 full bags of booze. And those are the ones that sucked on the portage.
Yeah, I wonder if we should put some booze in every bag. In all those Duluth packs, that we should spread some booze in every bag to spread the weight out. And so that if we ever get stranded, we're not, we're still okay.
Or at least put them in a bag that doesn't have a broken strap.
It's a couple of broken strap bags that happened, but we fixed both of them in tow. Problem solving.
Yeah.
We did the problem solving.
Adversity is just the first step. Come on.
It is. I'm curious. This one's more of a question for Justin because he's done a lot of outdoorsy shit and he's gone backpacking in deep. And Moose and Tora, like, we've done this enough times where we like know what we're getting into. And on the way in, like, you just kind of know you're getting your ass kicked. Tora, I have a follow-up question for you on this one of like a comparison. There's a specific comparison that comes to my mind of getting our asses kicked going in. But Justin, what did you think of like it was 6.5 hours? It's supposed to be like 7.5 hours, but our kayak paddles, cheat code, super cheat code in the canoes. But Justin, was it worse than you thought it would be going in? Was it what you thought it would be? Was it easier than you thought it would be? What was your mindset of hauling a bunch of shit into the middle of nowhere?
Oh, it was super easy. You paddled the whole time, and I just BS'd and played music for Tor on his canoe, and we throwing bottles of booze behind him. It was great. Like,
yeah, we did.
A luxury
we did
cruise
make double back. The bottle of booze I threw behind you guys. The bottle of booze I threw behind you guys was the caramel. That was the caramel. So you did.
You must have been so pissed off and drank it so fast we didn't even taste it.
You didn't even know it was caramel and honey or whatever the hell it was.
It was a pissed off drink.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean that really though in reality wasn't terrible. The paddle in, I mean, compared to some of my backpacks in deer and elk hunting, it was nice to get the breaks on the portages, like stretch your legs. It was weird trying to remember how to walk. And then that long one, it was really nice to paddle again. Kind of freaked me out when Tora had 1 million baby leeches on him.
It only happened once.
He was sitting in his defense, or in the leech's defense, he was sitting down in the water, like cooling his back down for a really extended period of time. Yeah.
Well, I think at that point we were like 4 hours in at that point, and I had to realize that my muscle relaxant, my herniated disc steroid pill, my Mexican pain pills, and the first 3 Coors Lights before we started paddling at like 6 a.m. had started to wear off. So I needed some relief. It turns out leeches are not the answer. So
baby leeches.
I was recalling the journey that my liver went through just in the first 6 hours of this trip.
Yeah. You remember the coffee you gave me at 5 a.m. on the way in?
Yeah. There's much coffee in that.
I asked for a coffee, and Tor hands me a Coors Light, and I proceed to crack it, and that's how we started the trip at 5 a.m.
I don't think you were out of your sleeping bag yet, and you had an open Coors Light in your hand.
Yeah. I knew what I was in for at that point.
They ain't gonna drink themselves, as they say.
But we do have to point out, as far as bunkhouses go, this is a positive shout out. As far as bunkhouses go, that place was clean, it was comfortable, and they had hot water. The water stank. It was nasty. I don't know what that smell was.
But it was campground well water.
Oh, but clean and hot. And I remember taking a shower that night being like, this is the last time I'm going to have hot water for a week and a half. Just enjoy it. Close your nose.
You had a hot tub, though.
Almost.
Well, it never really got that hot.
Well, more to come on that.
We will get to the projects of the
if the water never got hot enough to kill the stuff floating and swimming in it, I don't think it really was a hot tub.
Yeah, it's pretty gross, all the bugs.
It was a warm tub. Rob mentioned, and getting Dan drunk is one of the activities. Cole Sycophus, who Justin kind of like took his spot this year. Cole wimped out, which Justin was the one to gain. Cole said, "Miss you guys this year. I can't imagine it was any fun without me." Yeah, Cole, that's what it was. We didn't listen to Idiocracy while Moose was passed out, and you and I were just listening. It didn't happen this year. I didn't faint this year, but I did throw up outside of my hammock once. Rob says, "Now I'm super excited about getting leeches next year." Rob says he's in next year. we'll see. A lot of people said they were in this year,
Nice.
and then we had like an 8-man trip plan, and we ended up down to 4. So we'll see who's actually in next year. You know, got to put your money where your mouth is. Rob, get in here. But I'm curious, Tor, the weigh-in this year with your back. So a little preface: Tor was set to run a half Ironman that he wasn't prepared for. Well, he was as prepared as Tor's going to get. He was in Tor prep for a half Ironman, and then what? Like you threw your back out, or what? Like a week or a couple days before our Boundary Waters trip, where you carry a bunch of shit, and paddle for hours and hours.
I was just being stupid, and my neighbor needed some help, so I figured the best way to move a trailer from someone's backyard out to the front was for me to bend over and pick it up and just walk it a couple hundred yards. And as soon as I put it onto the trailer hitch and stood up, I immediately dropped and fell to the ground because I knew that I had thrown my back out.
Seized up.
Oh, I started, I don't know what the medication is, but it's this like steroid pack where you take 6 pills the first day, 5, 4, 3, 2. And it happened to be the last pill I took was the morning we were going out. And if you remember, even in the car, you guys were nice enough to give me the front seat in your new car, the truck, and I had it reclined with the
heater on,
lumbar support and the heater on the whole time because the plane ride over was excruciating. Everything was bad. I was terrified, but I think we put a pretty good concoction together of alcohol, pain meds, muscle relaxers, some gummies here and there, and just constant alcohol intake. So I was more scared for the pain, Dan, than the actual pain itself, just because I thought this was going to be miserable. But it wasn't as bad as, for example, SAG, when we got caught in that wind and the whitecaps were coming over the front of the canoes and you're paddling for 20 minutes. You look over and you see this rock and this tree and you're paddling 20 minutes later. It's the same fucking rock and tree. And you're just, you can't even turn and go to shore because if you veer at all out of the direct wave, you're screwed. So,
yeah.
It was really cool. And at the end to realize that it was like, was it 19 or 20 miles? Like that was intense.
We covered some ground.
I don't think we've done many trips that long.
It was probably similar to what we did on LaCroix.
Really?
And Knife was pretty long. I think Knife was like 5-6 hours, not quite as long, but that last paddle was like 3 hours. But when we did LaCroix, this is where I thought you'd go with it, but now that you mentioned SAG, I'm having flashbacks to Tony and I like way behind everybody and getting and we were in like aluminum canoes, just getting our asses kicked. But
we hadn't learned yet. We didn't know that the extra like $10 per canoe was totally worth it.
And we didn't have canoe seats. We were all sitting on beach towels. If you remember, we didn't have canoe chairs, so no backrest. We were just all like, we'll sit on a beach towel. That'll be enough cushion. Yeah, we were dumb. But when we did LaCroix and you and I took off trying to get campsites, and for those that don't know, in the Boundary Waters, you don't reserve a campsite, you reserve an input. And so it's like you're going through like landing number 38, and there's hundreds of campsites out there on many different lakes, and people can come from different ways to get to the same ones. So there's no reserving. I'd be interested to hear from the outfitters. I've never asked them like how full. There's 100 campsites, so that 30 people in at a time. Like, I don't know how many permits they let into an area because not all the campsites are great. Like, there's ones that are sought out, and that's obviously where we're trying to go. And we usually have a big group and need a lot of space. But it reminded me a little bit, not to the extent of what we went through, but LaCroix, where we were like racing those 3 other canoes of like adult mentors and then a bunch of little kids. And like my back seized up, we had to pull over, and then we raced them around to a different site and they beat us to it. And like, then we had to beat cheeks against the wind for, I don't know, a mile or two tour. And I've never, if you're watching this or listening to this, you can probably already tell it's hard to get Tor in a bad mood. Like even shit that sucks, he's laughing and smiling about. And when Tor and I were going across that water, I saw Tor mad or sad or something, And I started to cry. I didn't know what to do. It was like seeing your mom mad or like crying. Like I was like, I don't know what to do. It's so mad.
It was so much fucking wasted effort. I hate inefficiencies. I hate wasting things. And when we were racing and losing, I also hate losing. It doesn't happen. It's not allowed. But yes, I don't want to talk about it.
It sucked.
It was a great trip. It was a great trip because we were in the canoe together. And as Justin pointed out, I didn't have to do much paddling. But
would you guys agree though that for most trips we typically get the site we want, or like the top two?
Yeah,
for sure.
When we're hitting a bad streak, but for the most part, we've done
even
well.
Even the one time we did on LaCroix, we had all these sites marked. We didn't get one of them. The site we ended up getting them was the best site we've ever had. Like arguably, or I don't know if you agree with that or not, but I'd say that was the best.
I do. No, I definitely do, and I think that we'll always want this one or that one because they're a 5 or a 4, but we have so many listed, and where we end up and what we do with our tarp city and where our couch ends up and how we end up, on a cliff overlooking the sunset was that Knife, I think, and where how we turn it into something is incredible. And honestly, if you have 4 or 6 or 8 dudes and you bring 20 liters of hard alcohol for a week, you're going to enjoy and remember all the good stuff. Like, come on, make your own fun. And it gets better each time because we have canoe chairs now. Pro tip. There you go. Don't mess around. We have kayak paddles now. Don't mess around. It's worth $100 to buy a kayak paddle. We bring booze for the ride in and we keep some for the ride out. Like, we've got the inflatable couch. We have more tarps than you need in your world. Like, there's no reason anyone owns as many oversized tarps as us. Like,
don't forget the paracord.
78 billion feet of paracord and lithium batteries for the depth finders instead of hauling in lead batteries.
You just got to invest. You got to invest, man. It makes such a huge. Even the green bags that you get every year, those things are monstrous, but they're perfectly suited for what we're doing. Because if there was another 5 or 10 cubic feet in that bag, no one could carry it. It's already it's already at the limit. Or the straps would break every time, not just once a year.
That's a good point.
Every time you pick the thing up, it would just snap because it's going to be a 110-pound pack. But no, dude, there are some moments in life where you just can't smile anymore, and that was one of them. Not a proud moment, but it was tough. It was tough.
Yeah. Made it. Moose, I'm curious for you, because Justin and Tor weren't there for the original not LaCroix. Where the hell we go? Insula trip, the trip from hell. Give us a little side-by-side comparison of your perception of the revenge trip on Insula.
I mean, you touched on some of this already, but the weather, Mother Nature was pretty nice to us. But the first trip, the biggest thing I, really disliked about it is there is a fire burn, that took care of the southern portion of the lake, and we only made it to a third of the way into that southern, or that, fire burn area. And this time we got to go up into the, the nice, beautiful trees, you name it. Like, it's completely different than the first time around. So I like that type of stuff. That was probably the biggest difference I noticed is just our location. Same lake, but it's like a completely different lake at the same time if you're on the southern. I feel like even on that trip, we made it work. And Tor kind of mentioned that, like, we always figure it out. We always make it work. We made it work on that trip too. What sucked about that trip, in addition to multiple other things, is the water was like 5 feet high. I remember when we were going in, we passed a campsite with a fire grate up on a rock, multiple feet out of the air. And I distinctly remember when we went on the first trip, that fire grate, just the top of the grate was out of the water. Water was up like 5 feet. And it made the fishing impossible because I think the walleyes were all up dicking around in the woods. Like, why would you be anywhere else? They
if you think about how much wood would have been swamped if the water was 5 feet higher, that's what it was when we portaged through a lot of those portages that were multiple feet above the water this year. 4 years ago, they were all underwater. Like we were walking through a foot or two of water on those portages. And this year, man, like the walleyes were just where they were supposed to be. And if you went out at a good walleye time, like Moose and Tori, you guys got up one morning and caught a dozen. Justin and I made
off camp.
Yeah, like right by camp, like right in the hole where you'd expect it to be.
Well, we didn't even make it. We were going to go around the whole island because we were lucky enough to be on an island this year, and like we were going to go all the way around, and then we were going to check other spots that we saw and do all this. We were 100 yards off camp, and you guys were yelling at us as we're landing them. And
yeah,
Moose
we're watching you guys land.
Moose, bobber's down.
As we're drinking our mud slides, you guys are doing the work.
Going, and I had a little crankbait going, and I mean, I think we doubled up once, but that was a northern and a smallie or something. I don't know, but still at a very, very quick moment at the beginning of the trip, I was able to turn off that typical tour mindset of every fish needs to be kept. I don't care if it's a small northern and Dan has to deal with the bones. I don't care if this is a white fish that's going to taste like poop. Like every fish, we got to keep it because we're not going to go without fish. Very quickly, it was like, no. Let's get rid of the smallies. Let's get rid of the northerns. Oh, we don't need to keep that. Like we've already got 7 walleye on the stringer. We're good. Like
took the pressure.
Even throwing back the big walleye, we threw back the biggest walleye, which I understand is the conservation thing to do and the right thing to do, but that was a lot of good meat, and we just didn't eat it.
Well, the stringer was full. It was like, where are we going to put it? I don't even know if we had another hook to put it on. Baby was full. Yeah, you did. You went into the conservative mindset. I'll say I don't know a better word for it, but for reference, like the first time I cleaned fish, Tor was yelling at me for cutting the bones out of the northern fillet. Like he
could eat the meat between the bones.
Yeah, his perception is that we're going to starve out there if we don't keep every fish, and it's been that way for 8 years. And this was the first year.
Only for the first day or two.
Well, most trips we did back in the day were only 3 days, so like almost the whole trip.
Were you even capable of getting that meat out of those bones at that point, though, on that first day?
No.
I may have overserved. I may have fallen asleep on the canoe. Dan woke me up, told me to pour a drink. He said 1 inch of something and fill the rest with something. So I did 1 inch of water and the rest booze like I was told to do. And it might have set him up for disaster, potentially.
Success.
I didn't lose a finger. We all had a great fish fry. There was just a little puke outside of my hammock the next morning. But I didn't miss a day. Sometimes you get hungover, you like miss a day. I didn't miss a day. I was drinking mudslide in my coffee that morning. I got her right back on the wagon. It's a maturity thing. So, as you get older, you just know the best way to deal with being a drunk, hungover piece of shit is to just keep being a drunk, hungover piece of shit. You just got to keep going hard.
I prefer to call it a highly functioning alcoholic. Thank you very much.
Well, thanks. Yeah, thanks. I don't remember if I went rum or tequila, but
going back to the Lac LaCroix story, that was the one where we did a day trip, and is that the one where we got the big walleye?
No, that was Sag. That was after we beat cheeks across the big opening on Sag, and then you got the 32-inch walleye that you still haven't gotten a mount of.
But Sag is also right on the Canadian border, right?
Yeah.
It's close, yeah.
See, I don't know what it is. It's this like feeling that whenever we're on a lake that all of a sudden you're super close to the Canadian border. It adds a little excitement. Like we're stealing some fish from the Canadians. I like it. I like it.
We're going over there. We're gonna pee on their shoreline. We're gonna catch a smallie over there and do a.
We only did that, we only did that like every day. It was fine.
Yeah.
Quick little pee.
See what's up over there. Yeah, just quick 1-2.
But you don't want to take a poo over there because those campsites are junk.
They're not as good. They're not as good. They're not as bougie.
Our campsites are phenomenal.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I was blown away that there was an actual latrine at the campsites. That was pretty cool.
It's a nice
I've
touch.
never been to a spot where there's a shitter that close. It was amazing.
Well, that's
Isn't it?
nice too, because it's a good like cone toilet that has been installed properly. I just would hate to be one of the rangers that has to go and dig that hole, because I don't think they're bringing in an excavator on a canoe. Like that's got to be a hand dug hole, which would be miserable.
It's a shovel hole.
Ugh.
It's a
But
lot of work.
good shit.
Somebody's doing a lot of work.
Yeah.
But then I think then they take lime and pour it on it, and the lime like eats it all, and so they don't have to keep like re-digging holes that often. Like they got mechanisms to deal with it. Still not an awesome job.
No,
I was
that's
impressed.
the
They could have
moment.
they could have like gotten rid of some of the mosquitoes back there, but I mean, otherwise it was an excellent shitter.
thought you were
One of
playing
my
Minecraft
one of
with
my
people.
favorite memories from all the years. We were canoeing in or canoeing out one of them, and we're all packed up, and we're going, and it was like a river through like marshy area, and we're just getting somewhere, and we see
That
these
was
guys
on our
coming
way.
in the direct-
That was on our way into LaCroix. That was going into LaCroix.
into LaCroix, and because I was in front and you were in the back, right?
Yep.
And I'm wearing just the shortest shorts I own in the entire world and nothing else. Legs
But he
are
was
up,
wearing
hanging out over
shorts.
the front of
He
the-
was wearing shorts, unlike this year when he was just naked in the front seat. That time he was actually wearing shorts.
Day
Yeah,
one.
well, I did that to Josh. I've done that to you. It's fine. I mean, you're behind me. You're not. It's a good view. But here I am going, just like enjoying the sun, doing everything, and we see these canoes coming out, and they've got full head mask screens going down, long shirts, gloves, pants, and they just, I don't know if they were in awe or they were pissed off or what, because you knew that they were miserable. They were miserable. And there's no mosquitoes. Like, it's fine. What the hell are you doing? You're going to get tan lines.
And Tor immediately becomes everybody's best friend. So as we go by, these people that are like, they look like they're in a snowstorm. They're so like bundled up in mosquito protective gear. And Tor's spread eagle, feet out of the canoe, arms up in the air.
Hey guys.
I don't, from their view, I don't even know if they could see that he was wearing shorts. Like he probably looked naked to them. And Tor's just like, hey,
well, I do like to hike them up.
On? Yeah.
I do like to hike them up quite a bit to like reduce the tan line impact. And I always want to know what the fishing report is. I want to know, how many campsites are empty. There's so much to talk about in that like 45-second interaction. And then you realize they start paddling much faster to get away. But
cool.
Yeah,
cool.
No one's actually taken me up on one of the beers I've offered before.
Cole says, I love that I can accurately visualize your stories. Cole's been there.
Cole, you have already visualized it in person, but
yeah, he can put himself right there. Let's do a little round of highlights. I'm just gonna keep dealing the way I'm dealing. So Justin, you gotta go first, but we'll do some highlights and we'll do some lowlights. I don't know that there are any lowlights, but we'll come up with something. It'll probably be one of those lowlights that turns into a highlight. But Justin, give us a highlight or two.
I mean, it's like an endless list, right? Like, what do you pick? I mean, the drive-in was pretty fun.
You got swans fighting.
Oh yeah, UFC was pretty underwhelming, the fight between the swans. I didn't realize
Nobody won.
Yeah, they just kind of danced. It was really weird, honestly. I didn't know what to expect from a swan fight, but it was not that. That's for sure. But that was actually really cool to see that. But the drive-in, I started to panic a little bit when the trees were closing in on me, and Dan was ranting on a 30-minute turkey story. Yeah. Yep. So
I was listening the whole time.
We're doing highlights
while you're snoring and waking up and interacting perfectly with the story.
You guys were under certain influences, so it might feel different to you. But we're talking highlights here, Justin, not lowlights.
No, that was great. It was amazing. The panic is just part of it. So I would say probably, honestly, just the kayak or the canoeing around and learning how you guys actually troll for those fish and how accurate you are with your depths on those little jigs or the crankbaits, getting them spaced perfect. It was fun. It just reminded me of tuna fishing, following a perfect contour line. And it was like I was back out trolling for tuna 90 miles off the coast, but the coast was 10 feet away.
Yeah. Sometimes like right at the edge of your rod tip, depending on what the shoreline's doing.
No kidding.
Yeah, pretty much. And then just the camp banter, I mean, it's just some of the stories and the off the wall shit that Tor's doing, waking up with straight mudslide in the morning. And then, I mean, you guys go hard, and it was, trying to finish the last of the load so we didn't have to pack out on that last day. I got a nice snooze on that rock for, I don't know how long.
A good like 30, 45 minutes you were camped out there.
Yeah, it was great for the back. I mean, it was the perfect shape, just set it right in place. And then, I mean, how many projects did I start on that trip? I think I built a hot tub, bow,
snares. There's another one. Oh, you whittled
all the traps.
You whittled boobs and you whittled a dick.
Yeah, and that one was the perfect trap too. A dick in the face as you're going to the shitter. That was my favorite.
That was a good one. You had there's another like walking stick thing that you did, but maybe that was one of the bows.
I did a lot of whittling.
You found a shoe.
That shoe was cool.
A damn shoe. Yeah,
camp shoe.
And like a rail nail or something.
I found tent stakes somewhere. I found that somewhere on the way in.
I thought that was the lunch. That was the shore lunch with the swan fight.
You're right. That was at the shore lunch with the swan fight.
Yep.
I knew it wasn't at our camp. It was somewhere else, and that's where it was.
Yeah, the shoe was there, though. It was right behind my hammock.
The shoe was at camp, yeah.
Oh, camp another shoe. Highlight. Waking up the first morning and thinking I set my hammock up over a bee's nest because the mosquitoes were completely swarming around, and then realizing that it was mosquitoes, and it was almost worse. Because what
like,
do you do?
Oh shit!
Yeah, pretty much.
But they couldn't get in. Were you getting bit or no?
Well, no, but you got to get out of there at some point. So what's the exit strategy?
This. Bang it. You just bang them.
And then they come right back.
100%.
They're
or you
there.
just yell,
100%
help. You yell help, and then we all come and pee all over them.
Yeah. No, I didn't want a surprise visit from somebody again.
Works every time.
Oh, Lord.
Tor, what you got for a highlight or 8 like Justin did?
Yeah.
I thought you said all the highlights.
I mean, like it's like you said, it's hard to pick. You can't pick.
I'll do 2. One of them is the first time I ever used a hammock, and I got one. I mean, it was like $100 on Amazon, and it was nice. It's extra wide because I'm a wide guy, and it's got the mosquito net thing on it, and the rain fly over it. And I was really nervous, especially with my back. I was scared, man. But that thing with the proper application of Mexican pain pills right before you lay down every night was phenomenal, and I love it. The only reason I mention it is because of the mosquito sound you talked about, because I would get woken up in the morning from what sounded like mosquitoes that were just flying on me and all around me. And you know that mosquito sound, it's awful. And I'm just like itching in my skin as I'm sleeping. I realize that they're only like 3-4 inches away on each side. And there are literally hundreds of them trying to get to me. But a highlight is that the hammock is the new way to go for me, and fuck those mosquitoes because they don't stand a chance.
Moose,
but what I wanted to say before
mosquitoes?
Justin got into that.
Hold on, Moose. Were you surrounded by mosquitoes in the mornings?
I think what was it after the first night, or that first morning we woke up, that was definitely mosquitoes all over the place.
Oh,
after the rest of the trip, it wasn't. I didn't think it was that bad.
Okay, maybe my vomit the first night kept them away because I never got bugged. Anyway, sorry.
I think I was too far into the woods because I was in the woods. There was no breeze. My rainfly was at a steep angle. And like I told you guys multiple times on the trip, now that I know what it's like, you learn more. I'm never going to put my hammock in a place like that. I'm going to steal Justin's spot or Moose's spot or your spot where it's beautiful. And you've got the hammock, which goes up and out. And it's like you position it for a view. You position it for breeze. You do all this. I was positioning it for fucking monsoon weather and hail like we get every year except for this year. Because I didn't know. And I was nervous. My rainfly was as long as my body. And I was like, well, that doesn't make any sense. If I have this,
what if it comes in?
Rain, what about the rain coming from here or from here? Like, I'm screwed. But thankfully it didn't rain at all. No, but what I really wanted to say was truly a low light that turned into a highlight, because we did the day trip to Alice, right? And we fished the entire way there. And Moose pulled in a couple walleye, some northern, a few smallies, like beautiful, beautiful. I think that's what we had for lunch on the shore lunch. And on the way back, we stopped and I'm fishing the whole time. Moose is doing most of the paddling while he's fishing. And I'm just like, gonna fucking get something. I didn't get a single anything the entire way. You guys were, what, an hour at camp before we even got there because I was so insistent on like, I got to keep something in the water. I got to try and catch something.
Yeah,
and as we saw you doing your rain dance around the fire or whatever was happening there, I don't really want to know. I was like, Moose, let's do one lap around this little bay right here. And then if I recall right, I got a walleye on like that next cast. And that's when I pulled in that massive smallie, which we let go, but that's the biggest smallie I've ever seen. And that's definitely a highlight because it's weird to say, oh, look at how big of a smallmouth bass that I got. It's not something to brag about, but it was awesome. And I've never seen anything that big. And that was a highlight. And yes, we let it go for all of you that are worried about that.
We let it go.
And then we caught it.
We let it go.
And then we let it go. And then we caught it.
We let it go 3 times. Just twice we touched it. Once we didn't.
For the record, I popped that Smalley's cherry.
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
Yeah, I was the first one to touch him.
Yeah, I touched it first. But that was definitely a highlight because it's like golf, right? You can go out and play 17 holes of shit golf and be so frustrated, and then on 18 you chip in from 60 yards out and you're like, yeah, when do we play next? Like, here I am. It's an entire shore lunch day trip fishing. I didn't catch shit. Everyone else caught all this. Moose is pulling stuff. Doesn't even matter what he throws in the water. He's pulling stuff out. Some of the lures I was putting on his line didn't even have all the hooks. They were so old and beat up and cheap. They were missing hooks. It's not a 3-prong and a 3-prong. It's like a 2 and a 1 now. Like, he's still snagging them. And
that's how you know they work. If there's hooks broken off, that's usually a good sign that fish like something about it.
Exactly. I think I also lost, what, Moose, was that the trip where I lost like 5 lures, or was that the day before maybe? I don't remember.
Day before.
Yeah. That was a highlight. Just having Moose there to be like, yeah, man, we've caught plenty of fish, but we'll do one more lap just for you because I know you need it.
It was a little bit of Make-A-Wish.
Jumping right back into it. I think we went back to that bay the next night or even that night. I don't remember when. And Moose was pulling out every 2 minutes to 5 minutes. He's pulling out another keeper walleye, another keeper walleye, another keeper walleye. I'm again not catching shit, but I also was not prepared for this night. And I still have bumps on my neck right here from the thousands of mosquitoes that lived on me and camped on me and sucked out liters of blood. And I ultimately pulled my shit in, and I was just swatting the whole time as Moose was catching walleyes. And I didn't want to say anything because he was catching so many fucking fish, but it sucked. That 90 minutes sucked.
You stole mine. I was going to say that was one of the highlights just because I could tell you were in some misery up there, and you just took it like a trooper, and then all of a sudden you're like, looking back, like, I'm good when you are. that was funny. But yeah, that was a good night.
Dude, it was the same spot where I got my big one.
Yeah.
So like I can't tell you to leave when you're slaying. You were just slaying. It was ridiculous. And there was no breeze. There was nothing. Oh.
No.
Tor gets the all-time award. And if you've ever gone on a wilderness trip, you guys know this stuff. But and I always like to relate things back to business. Like there's somebody in your business that does this too, but you need a morale booster person. And Moose and I were missing that person the last time we went to Insula. Like morale was down the whole time. Tor wasn't there. He couldn't make it that year. I think you were in Europe, Tor. And besides that one like trip on LaCroix where Tor and I were racing people to different campsites and struck out and then had to go multiple miles across big open water and a bunch of wind and a bunch of waves, we ultimately like succeeded and found the best campsite. But that's the only time I've ever seen Tor unhappy in like 8 years of doing these trips. Like Tor is the ultimate morale booster. And when things suck, like pouring rain, hail, getting eaten alive by mosquitoes, Tor's typical reaction is, oh, fuck yeah. Like, I don't know where it comes from. I don't know how he does it, but he's just relentlessly morale boosting everyone around him. And so that story doesn't surprise me that Tor would just sit there and like take it because he's like, oh, hey, like, look at all these walleyes. We got to catch these, or as Tor would call them, these willies. We got to get all these willies. We can't leave a willie uncaught out here. So we got to get them all. And you better keep fishing. And I'm fine. I'll just sit here and just keep doing this. And we'll see what happens. You know, that's just like classic Tor.
Yeah. Oh, love you, Dan. Oh,
Moose, what you got for
sorry,
highlights
Moose.
besides watching Tor get eaten alive by mosquitoes while you slay willies?
Yeah, I'd say because of our past trip, I was a little nervous that Insula fishing wasn't going to work out. But the first night we caught, some small fish, did our job, had food. But that next morning, I'll chime in for Cole here. He said, hey, we should really be fishing early in the morning, instead of having a big meal for breakfast, blah, blah, blah. Like, so.
Oh, yeah. Cole said that last year when we were on Gaskin.
Yeah. I got Tor on board with that. And we found our spot. We were catching big fish, lots of them. I mean, essentially we were done. We could have been done for the day. Or even the next day, like it was awesome. And to the point where we're like, we can hear Dan and Justin and it's like, guys, where the hell are you? We're catching fish left and right.
We were just cheering you on from shore, drinking our coffee and mudslide. We were living our best life.
That was besides catching, the big 32-inch, walleye, something like that. Just the sheer number of fish that we're catching. That was probably the best fishing that I've had on these trips over the years. So.
Yeah, it was crazy watching you guys. Like, we're just standing on shore going, oh, my God, they're netting another one. Oh, my God. Like, it's another one.
Tor screaming again.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm trying to see if I can find the stringer because I remember a moment, which is interesting because all my fishing gear fits right here. I don't have anywhere near as much as any of you. I just have like 1.5 of these. But the stringer, I got one of those new ones because you learn, and it's got the clip on each end, and it's super amazing. And we were at the point where Moose would pull in another one, or I would pull in another one, and I'd look at the stringer, and I'd say, okay, this one's going back, and we're replacing it with this better one. And I think we didn't keep any northerns because we didn't need to, but
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, we were qualifying like which walleyes were better because the stringer was full and we didn't want to pull out a second stringer because that's just wasteful. But like if I catch a new one and I see this one's not as good, yeah, we'll throw that one back in and put this one on there. And it was, I've never seen a stringer like that in my life when we're out on these lakes. Like just incredible. It was absolutely incredible. The only thing, a low light is that I didn't catch one with my penis lure. I wonder.
You still haven't caught one with the dick lure.
It's kind of stuck on a couple other things, but you'll get the idea. It looks like that.
Yeah, you think you'd get a big female with that one? A big old girl's gotta want that. Gotta.
I've got some good stuff in here, guys. If anyone needs consulting advice on what lures to bring when you go into the Boundary Waters, just find me on my handle. I'll give you some advice and some Amazon links.
Holly Moore is checking in. She's back to hunting and fishing. I see. I think she likes the dick lure tour. I think she's gonna. Holly, you can just go to Amazon and order a box of penis lures. They're out there. Maybe give them to your husband for whenever his birthday's coming up.
They're really nice because you order them by the centimeter length. They don't even worry with inches. It's all centimeters. Much bigger. It's a much bigger number than what I'm used to talking about.
Teresa McConnell's in the house. What's up, Teresa? You tuned in at the weirdest time to tune into this episode, talking about penis fishing lures. Moose, any other highlights for you? You got any other highlights?
I think that last day, full day that we were there, I think we're maybe a little bit fished out at that point, and it was just a full, bullshit day of drinking, games, you name it. The camaraderie, all that good stuff. That last day was a lot of fun.
Sitting on the inflatable couch, floating a little bit.
I was just going to say, adding on to Moose's point there, that's when we floated on the couch.
Yeah.
And that thing is, it just changes the mood when you're sitting on an L couch in the middle of the Boundary Waters in a lake and you're just floating. And Justin took a time lapse and it was amazing because you see us just dicking around and then all of a sudden we all sit on and no one's like keeping it in place anymore. And it just kind of floats across the screen and it's gone.
That was epic.
Yeah.
I still wonder, are we the first people in the Boundary Waters to float a couch through it? There's a good chance.
I would assume so.
Good chance.
Well, we've done it. Is that now 2 years or that was just the second year with it, right?
That was year 2 with the couch.
I found a floating island at Costco. I'm not sure on the weight, but I might see an upgrade in your future.
I own a couple of them. They're phenomenal.
Who is this guy? Oh, floating island. Yeah, I got me a couple of those floating islands.
I do.
I prefer the Kia the IKEA floating island. Easy to assemble.
He's on the couch floating.
Oh, I am on the couch
Found
floating.
it.
Yeah, there we are.
Oh wait.
Yeah. Just hanging out with the couch.
Right? God, we
It's
look
hard to
good.
beat. It's hard to beat.
We look
Couldn't
good,
get much
guys.
better than that.
So I honestly do own a couple of the islands because we've done some river trips and people are always like, yeah, let's get a tube and let's float down a river. And we did this before our wedding in Oregon. There's a beautiful, awesome river and there's hundreds of people going down on these tubes or stand-up paddle boards. I was like, fuck this. I got on Facebook Marketplace. I found one of the 15-person floating islands with like the shade and everything. And like, this is for me and my wife and my kids. And if 11 other people want to join us, that's fine too. And then turns out the water was
10 other people. You need a spot for the beer cooler. 10 other people.
It has 3 coolers built in.
Oh, of course. Okay.
Nice.
Come on. Like,
I'm sorry I underestimated it. I'm sorry.
I don't buy shit islands, right? But I inflate this and everyone else is in like their $10 like Walmart nothing and they're fully underwater as they're going. Within the first hour of us on this like 5-hour float, they were all on there and it was so fun. And everyone was tying up with paracord their tubes so that they didn't float away, but they didn't have to sit in them. It was fun. So then I got home and I bought one of the exact same ones again on Facebook Marketplace. And now I take it out into Long Island Sound because as soon as you inflate that thing, people flock to you and it's just a party.
What kind of weight you got on one of those? And you think you could you like Velcro a pole holder to it and just do some bobber fishing off of that?
You could definitely bobber fish off of it for sure, but it's not light. I mean,
They're massive.
The couch is much lighter.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even use the pump that we used to inflate this thing. I use a Ryobi leaf blower with a custom attachment on it.
Yeah, okay. I see what you're talking about. Yeah, we'll stick with the couch. The L couch is. We should fish off the couch
This
sometime.
is not small. We could get a smaller, like 6-person island, and that might work. But
Might.
then the problem is, how do we sit on the island and play cards and have movie night? Because
You're
we haven't
right.
even. I wanted to talk about it, but I was hoping someone else would bring it up. How is movie night not a highlight, guys? Come on.
So I didn't get to
We
my
watched some
highlights yet.
Not. Oh yeah, sorry, Dan. Dan, tell us
Yeah, I
about
got
your
some
highlights,
highlights.
buddy.
I got some highlights. One of my highlights was the first episode of Bad Thoughts.
Oh Jesus!
When he was a sniper and he shot the wrong person, and then he shit his pants. The rest of Bad Thoughts, man, it was okay. It was weird, but like the first episode of Bad Thoughts, I was just peeing my pants laughing. That was so damn funny. That was a highlight for me. The Moose mentioned just like the last day, we already had all of our fish, and it was just beautiful weather, and so we just got to like play cards and drink and take a nap on a rock and float around on the couch. And I think that was the second time we had gone out there, maybe the third time. But one of the highlights was for sure when we first went swimming off of camp, and then like we like dropped off the rock and we were like, oh my god! And then all of a sudden it was like, wait, I think there's another rock out here. And then we like made it out to the rock that was like, it got to like untouchable depth, and all of a sudden you were back in 1.5 feet of water, just hanging out on the rock, 50 yards from shore. Like standing out there was pretty sweet, just chilling in the boundary waters. Well, I don't remember if it was the same night, but one of the nights, it might have been the night when you guys were getting eaten alive by mosquitoes, or Tori, you were, when you guys went around the bend. Justin and I took like a down and back on a shoreline and probably caught 10 walleyes. Just like trolling crankbait, just like zoop, zoop. And we're like, we didn't keep any. We threw them all back because we're like, we don't need any. But I think we caught 10. Just bang, boom, boom.
With spectators.
Yeah, right in front of the campsite.
Yep.
Yeah, right in front of their campsite. Just rubbing it in. Oh, I think the 26-incher. So we went into Lake Alice, and Tor, like you, we couldn't catch shit. We went all the way into Lake Alice, and we fished the entire way and didn't get a bite. Like, not a bite the whole way. And so we got into Alice, and then we hit like 15-mile-an-hour winds that I think turned into 20. And the waves were going from like 1 foot to 2 foot. And we're at the downwind side of the lake. So the minute Justin and I got into the lake, it was like, oh, we ain't going. Like, there's some campsites way out there. Maybe there's some close by. And so we like beat cheeks. I mean, we're in like 20, 30 feet of water, but we're just paddling our asses off. We're not really worried about speed, just to try to get to like a sheltered side and check out a couple campsites. And we got over there. We got with the wind. And then we both stopped paddling, and you have to do the thing where you drag your paddles to actually like slow down to the right speed because the wind was blowing so hard. And then we hooked up like a 26-inch pike, I think, and we ate that one at shore lunch. I think we might have caught 2 doing that, and found the perfect shore lunch campsite. Isn't a great campsite. It's actually kind of a shitty campsite, which we did both of our shore lunches at shitty campsites, but it hasn't been used in a while, and there's usually firewood left there.
Pre-cut and ready.
Yeah, because nobody's using it. And Tor and I grabbed some firewood from just such a campsite another time. But that was a great shore lunch. We got like sprinkled on while we were shore lunching. Got some shade. We were out of the wind, and then by the time we like went to go back, the wind had died down. And Justin and I got back, and as you guys pointed out, you were nowhere to be seen. To the point where it's like, man, how long do we like give it until we go back and look for them? Like, are they coming? Did something happen? I don't think anything happened. Like, what could possibly happen? And we're standing on shore, and that was the first time I had bobber fish from our campsite, and we caught that 26-inch hog while you guys were out doing your thing. That was when you did your victory lap tour, and you hadn't caught shit, and you guys went around the bay and were getting them. That was when we pulled in the 26, the big one of the trip, and gave it the clean release. So that was a major
another highlight. I had another highlight on that same day, as we're paddling through that narrow section. It does that big L up into Alice, I tended to yell profanities at ducks for some reason. I really didn't like the ducks on that trip.
Yeah, he was just giving them the business.
Yeah, and so I'm yelling at a duck right as we're about to make the bend, that hard left, and some Native Americans came around the bend going the other way, and right as I'm yelling something I maybe shouldn't have, that was kind of an awkward interaction, I think, but I feel like
they
got
got on board with it. They got on board immediately.
Yeah,
came around. They might have been scared.
I hope they know I wasn't yelling that at them. You know, I don't know if I clarified though.
You did. You did.
Okay.
I don't know if they believed you, but you did attempt to clarify.
I swear it was just the duck.
So more highlights. Native American spottings were incredible because they were coming out left and right. Like it was a busy lake. But
up there for sure.
But the air quality was absolutely shit. And I have a very positive attitude on everything in life.
I gotta pee. You guys keep talking about air quality or whatever you want to talk about.
I have horse shit lungs and respiration, and I had like scratchiness in my throat for the first 3 days. And I don't know if, for reference, there were some huge Canadian fires.
Californian
doing whatever they were doing, and the highlight is that made the sunsets so fucking beautiful. I took so many pictures of sunsets and scenery, and it didn't even have to be a sunset. The sun could be 2 hours from setting, but the amount of smoke that it was going through was giving us these vivid oranges, yellows, I mean, kind of nasty greens, but still stuff you don't like. This is truly one of those like hashtag no filter type of photos because I don't know how to use a filter, but it was so pretty and so gorgeous. And God, that was a highlight. Like it sucked that I couldn't breathe and that I had legitimate concern for my respiratory health, but that it cleared up. What, like the third day, give or take?
Yeah.
It seemed like most of it was up off the lake for most of it.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, maybe that was just you.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was pretty drunk most of the time. That tramadol really did a number on me.
The Mexican concoction.
Yeah.
Josh, did it even impact you? Did you feel it at all?
No, but in previous trips, I'm usually a like backwoods, smoker. So I get like, throat feels like shit. This trip, I didn't have any, and I was just fine. So I'll say no, it didn't affect me.
I think I took like 4 pulls from that nice Buffalo Trace cigar, and I mean I worked really hard to like inhale and get it to go fully in the lungs and like float and then like cough it out and throw up and like that's how you
maybe
smoke a
that
cigar,
was your
right?
problem, not the smoke in the air.
So,
you're not supposed
like,
to inhale.
Could have been it. Yeah, could have been that.
That's like, I think the last cigar I had before that was when I took my dad fishing down in San Diego to get some bluefin, and he got the biggest bluefin on the trip. But like, shit, that was 20 years ago. Like, I can't put smoke in my lungs or anything. And
I thought of another highlight.
How was the piss, Dan?
Oh man, it was great. I've been drinking beer for a few hours, so it ran through me. We're up at the lake, I worked most of the day and then was like, well, I was gonna go fishing, but instead we just hung out with the neighbor and drank beer all afternoon. So
but I love that shirt. You're representing the lake right there. And so I gotta talk about a quick story right here because you mentioned it earlier, but I didn't really go into it. So I was on my last steroid pill before, and then I don't know if you remember, I did one training swim. I think it was like 50 feet, maybe 50 yards, give or take, somewhere in that range, to get ready for my Ironman. And I got back home, and I didn't get to do any more training because I immediately had to do a work trip down to DC to give a speech and do a ribbon cutting for a big solar project and everything. And then I got back Wednesday night at like 11 p.m. that week after the canoe trip. And then Thursday morning, I took the kids and the wife, and we got on got in the car and drove to the airport, and we flew to Coeur d'Alene. No, the kids stayed with my mom. Just me and the wife flew to Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and stayed one night, rented a car, drove 7.5 hours down to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, where we then did a practice swim. We did a practice bike ride, and I was the only one enjoying cocktails out of the 12 people that I knew, because
why did you
ready.
fly into Canada first?
Because we then spent the week after we spent in Canada for our 10th anniversary. We went to Hot Springs. Cool. We went up to Banff. We went to Lake Louise. We did all kinds of hiking. And it turns out you can't rent a car in Idaho and return it in Canada. So our options were, do we make a long drive before and then end where we want to, or do we make a long drive up and then at the end of the trip drive back down? So we thought Canada was the best. And for my practice swim, I had the finest swim apparel. I didn't know people were taking pictures, but that was the practice swim. And to give you an idea, like, there's my wife going in for the practice swim in full gear, right? And then
she looks like a ninja.
Yeah,
she's decked out in a wetsuit, and you're just wearing a Speedo.
And then this is 5 a.m. in the morning. I don't think you can see it, but it's anyways, I'm in the Speedo and she's ready to go. That's the morning. That's 5 a.m. before the
You're glowing.
That's 5 a.m. before the event. So you are given 8.5 hours to do a half Ironman. This is what I wanted to say. You're given 8.5 hours. So it's a 1.2 mile swim, a transition, 56 mile bike, a transition, and a half marathon. 8.5 hours. So typically naturally I use ChatGPT, and I was like, okay, I think I can do the swim in an hour. That makes sense. I think I can do the bike in 4 hours. That makes sense. I think I can do the run in 3 hours. That's 8 hours. I have 30 minutes of transition. I'm set. This is great. Like, let's make this happen. I did them before kids 9 years ago and 10 years ago, and it was fine. But I could train back then. I didn't train for shit on this. And as I am now finishing this event and I'm turning the last turn, we're in downtown. There's 2 blocks to go. It's lined with thousands of people. And I recognize people because everyone I know is already done. My wife by 2 hours. So here I am. I'm like, yeah, I still have like 12 minutes before the cutoff of like when you don't qualify. Because if you don't finish in time, whether you finish or not, you don't qualify. You're not done. You don't get a medal, whatever. So here I am. I'm like, I got 12 minutes. So I run to the side. I high five my wife. I run to the side. I high five her best friend. I run back over and I see some friends and their parents and I high five them. I stop for some photos and I keep like my shuffle. I'm not running. I'm not trying to brag. I was not running. I was speed walking. And I get to the finish line and I'm so excited. I'm so happy. And I turn around and I look because there's the times, the names and times of the last 5 people that finished. And it said 8 hours, 29 minutes, and 42 seconds. I had no idea that what everyone I knew yelling at me was, you need to go faster. You need to finish. Fucking go. And I'm like, yeah, this is great. This is great. Like, it's so fun.
Just boosting morale. You can't turn it off, man. You're just pumping everybody else up. You're busy pumping them up.
Out of 1,200 people that did the event, I was the absolute dead last person to finish that qualified. There were about 100 people behind me, but none of them finished in 8.5 hours. So my claim to fame is I got dead last in a half Ironman.
You and Brock Purdy are damn near Eskimo brothers in a different sort of way.
Dude, absolutely. Like Mr. Irrelevant, right? Here we go.
Yeah.
It's incredible. But now
that reminds me of my strategy in college.
My rookie contract by now. I want to get out of my rookie contract. I want like the real money now.
Yeah. That reminds me of my strategy in college. Like, you don't.
I just had to share that because I.
Go ahead, Tor. Sorry.
Oh no! I just wanted to share that because you'd mentioned it earlier, and I know I gave you guys way more talking about it than you wanted to hear. But if anyone ever wants to go do a couch race, and by that I mean you go from the couch to the race, I want you to know it's possible. I'm living proof. I got myself up to 230 pounds because, I told myself I was training and I absolutely wasn't. So I was eating way more than normal. And yeah, I put on some carbs, so I was ready to go. And
You had all the
it was a
calories you needed.
20,000 calorie burn day. There you go.
Yeah, you had all the
Well,
calories.
you save money
needed.
on the gels for the race, at least. Just burn those carbs off.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, Body Glide. That's a new. It's my future. It's this little like deodorant stick, except it's called Body Glide, and you put it on your neck because I still had the mosquito bumps, which were bugging me, and then the wetsuit rubs as you're swimming with the wetsuit. So that, and then you put it in your crotch because as you're biking, running, swimming, like you rub this stuff on there, you're good for like 3 days. It's almost like the ultimate lubricant.
I want to do a quick ad for my sponsor, which is the Gold Bond friction stick. If you haven't used this, Tor, I thought I introduced you to this. I've been using the friction stick for 5 years, and I'm never going back. You put it on your paint, and life is a lot better. The end.
I have orgasmed from the triple action, the blue bottle. After a football game in high school, you kind of like open up and you just dump.
Yeah, but this isn't like the mentholated Gold Bond that cools you down like the powder. This is the deodorant stick that exactly what you just said. It's the same thing, but man, you don't share them. If you let somebody use your friction stick, it's over. They can just have it, right? Like it's the ownership has turned, but they're a lifesaver. Any chafe, like Tori, you and I both have big legs. Like the inside of your legs rub together. Like any chafing that you get, your nipples when you're running.
Yeah.
Tor doesn't wear
that's
shirts.
The issue with the long runs.
Tor doesn't wear shirts, so it's probably irrelevant to him. But the Gold Bond
is it friction defense?
Yeah, man.
Gold Bond friction defense with aloe.
Yeah, dude, it's so clutch. I have 2 of them in my possession at all times. Like I keep one in my medicine bag and just like one at home at all times, so that I always have one with me no matter where I go. I'm never leaving home without them.
Just so you know, this right here is a third the price of what I bought. And
I'm a thrifty son of a bitch.
It will be here tomorrow, July 2nd. Done.
That's a good move. Good move. Highly recommend it. I don't know why Moose and Justin aren't clicking around. Oh, Justin's still on his phone, but you can probably get
this is great. So after you buy something on Amazon, it immediately sends you to deals viewed, items related or in the last month. It is just all fishing equipment.
If you fish
with
a lot,
how many lures,
probably get chafed.
With how many lures that I lost? Oh, that and dude wipes.
That's clutch. I thought of one more highlight while I was taking a really long leak. I thought of another highlight, which was we had so many fish that Justin and I took all of our time while you guys were out slaying them. We started lining up a long line with Justin's experience from deep sea fishing, and we rigged up some jugs with some line off of them, and we floated them a couple times while we were dicking around just to like see what would happen, and some had some. Justin put water in one of them to like.
I'm getting a new ice ball. I'll be right back.
Get a new ice ball. And so we were like gauging our drift and where it would go. And we kind of had an idea of the depths from trolling around with our depth finder. And at one point we had gone around and there was a spot we wanted to put the minnow trap. So I think we put the jugs out, which is basically like an empty booze bottle. And one of them was, we had a Country Time lemonade for some sweet tea vodka lemonades. But that was cached. And so we tied a line around that and floated it with like 10 feet of line off of it. Made a little loop, came back, and we were sitting at camp, and we had strategically put them where we could see them from camp and where they'd kind of get like run up on shore and not end up going out into the middle of the lake. And we look and we're like, they switched spots. Like the white one was over here, but now it's out over there. We should probably like get in and go check it. And we'll go check the minnow trap at the same time. And gall darn it if we didn't get out there and pull up a pike on the Country Time lemonade jug. So that was definitely a highlight to get one on a plastic jug. That's how good the fishing was. We resorted to like just digging around.
I've fished most of my life. I've commercial fished. I've fished every different type of fishery. I have never fished a jug in my life, and that was epic to catch a pike on a jug.
But I can't even say like
that's alone shit right there. That's legitimate alone shit right there, because you need passive fishing, and you guys found a way and you created. And I only have to say it's only possible because the amount of paracord that we had. Like, paracord is key. Well, no, not because we had the booze, because we had the containers from the booze.
Yeah, we put in work.
Does anyone have a picture or a count? Was it 15 liters? Was it 15 2 liters?
2 liters, I think, right?
Holy shit.
I feel like
I know there were 8 175s of just rum, tequila, vodka. And then we had the sweet tea vodka. Then we had the mudslides. Then we had the Fireball. Then we had the 2 different whiskeys.
Lesson learned. Sweet tea vodka and Country Time lemonade, I think, was only second to tequila and margarita mix.
Oh yeah, and we had the margarita mix too. The margarita mix had the tequila in it already, but
then
because
you go 50-50. Come on.
Yeah, you like add more tequila and add more water, because that tequila mix is just so like gut roddy.
You put water in the tequila mix?
I put more tequila in and more water in, because the mix itself is so damn sweet. Like, I don't want that much sugar in it. So that's
why we ran out.
Tequila in it and margarita and water in it. That's not why we ran out. That's why it kept going. It's because I would only go like half margarita mix, and then the other half would just be more tequila. That might be why I threw up. In hindsight, could have been my own. I could have overserved myself.
So I found out that rum turns Dan into a pirate. And we also found out that the R on the bottle, just so we could identify, is what the pirates say, right? So that's what they're asking for, right? They need the R.
R. Yeah, that's how we load
Dan, question for you. Best cocktail on the trip?
It's hard to choose.
We know Justin's going to, I'll give you some time. We know Justin's going to say Tremadil, so that's fine. But
well, I mean, mushrooms are great too.
I think the most like memorable having a cocktail was going out, swimming out to the Rock with a sweet tea vodka lemonade. That was like I mean, 100 cocktails blend together. I bet you drink 100 of them while you're out there. Maybe not 100.
Oh, 50 of them.
50 of them.
For sure.
Because you're just constantly like hydrating with it. I really enjoyed, actually, maybe my favorite was the lemon drip drops, like the water flavorings with electrolytes. I would do 2 lemons and then tequila and water, or sweet tea vodka and water. And that was like a less sugary sweet tea vodka lemonade. I think that might have been the tastiest one I had.
I think the mudslide changed my life, actually.
Oh, just
in a good way or a bad way? A good way or a bad way?
Yeah. It was just a really nice supplement to the coffees in the morning. I mean, Tor's version of straight.
There's a big problem there. You watered it down. Again, you did what Dan did. Why put water in the tequila and the tequila margarita mix? Like,
I do value that way of doing it, but I don't know if my stomach can take all that. That's a lot of sugar.
All right. So mudslide. Moose, what do you got?
I'm gonna go with, I don't know what meal that Dan brought. It was a new one. I don't know. It tasted fantastic with anything I put. I did tequila with it, rum, didn't matter. It was It was awesome. Dan, do you remember by chance? It was a odd new flavor.
I think it was a strawberry pineapple.
Was it the blueberry one?
Oh, no, it was a blue one.
Oh, there's a blueberry one. Yeah, the blueberry.
Blueberry.
I could mix that with anything. It was delicious. So.
Oh, you guys are assholes. I was gonna say raw mudslide, and I was like, okay, well, I got an easy second, which was the blueberry Mio. Fuck.
Damn it.
That's why I always
so
speak
many
first.
options.
I don't have to worry about people stealing my shit.
Do you guys what's a low light? Anybody got like a specific low light they can point to? I got maybe one or two.
I got
Other
one.
than the mosquitoes waking me up the first day and like really pissing me off because my kids aren't here, I don't have to work, I have legitimately no cell phone service. So sorry guys, like you cannot get a hold of me and I cannot get a hold of you. And here are these fucking mosquitoes waking me up as the sun's coming up at what, 5:15, 5:25? Like, go fuck yourself, mosquitoes. We're still asleep.
I'm going to say the first day for me. I am a Seattle native, and sun doesn't serve me well. I got far too much sun, and what was that, 4 p.m.? I was in the hammock.
And yeah, you passed out. I don't think you came back.
Yeah, no, I was done for the night. The same thing happened here in Milwaukee. I went to a Brewers game, ate a Polish sausage with French fries, banana peppers, and all sorts of other things on it. After eating Culver's for my first time the day before with cheese curds on it, and then some crazy
good.
Chicagoland
So good.
hot dog. The food, the booze, the sun. It's the sun though. That's the main culprit.
Wipes you out.
Yep.
Moose?
I'm gonna say the paddle in. We were coming up on a group that was
The whole thing.
fishing. You know, we're bullshitting as we're coming up. You know, they're catching northern right at the mouth of the river. You know, that type of thing. And Tor's at the front, so you know, gets on the rock first, and I'm sitting there just waiting, and he starts to lift it up just a little bit. I stop. Oh, you know, I'm getting out of the water. But as I'm like trying to, you know, finagle myself out, my foot catches the end of the canoe and I go toppling over into the water in front of everybody, you know, all these other people like, well, all right, let's go.
Yeah, that's it.
I think we lost two or three sacks. We lost 2 or 3 sacks at that same time, just floating away. And we're like, no, throw it in.
Moose. The best part about that for me was that's where you and I capsized 4 years ago. Was that exact same portage, and it's just you're just cursed there. You're cursed on the way in.
No. Hey, for the record, I thought I was doing him a favor by bringing the front of the canoe up onto shore so it'd be more stable, but it wasn't on shore. It was on a single rock. So it was the most unsteady that it could be. And if he farted wrong, he was gonna capsize. Like it wasn't his fault. That was 100% on me. Yeah. I'm a dick.
It's collateral damage if you go in Tor's canoe. There's a better like the odds are if there's a chance you're gonna tip, it's greatest when you're with Tor. Because he's just going. He's going full speed. And he dumped the year we went to Vista, he dumped me in at a portage, and then you dumped Tony in getting back in to go out fishing one time. You might blame Tony.
You want to talk about a low life in life was when not only did I dump Tony, but I dumped myself, and that day was
and
cold.
all the gear.
That day was cold, man. And I remember sitting there like, do I push the button? Like, is this hypothermia? Because I can't feel my hands. I can't feel my feet. Like, I don't have anything dry to put on at all. Nothing. Yeah. All my shit was in the water. Like, I'm fucked. That was.
I do think I gave you some clothes.
Thankfully, we already had camp set up at that point. We had camp set up and we could just drink excessively, and that's what warmed my body. So
Yeah, you guys. I don't think you guys went fishing that night. I think you stayed at camp and just sat by a fire and warmed
No, fuck
up.
no.
No.
Oh, I wore wet pajama pants and wet like Under Armour cold gear and sat as close to the flame as I could. It sucked.
I don't have a lot of lowlights from this trip because everything just went so well. But when we did our first day trip to the other bay of Insula, and we talked to you guys, and we're like, we're gonna go check over there for a campsite. Then we thought you were following us, and we got to a campsite. We got to see a swan fight, and we like got there and we stayed there for like 10, 15 minutes, poured a cocktail, and we're hanging out. And I was like, they ain't coming, man. Like, they didn't get the memo. Like, I thought they got the memo. I thought they got the memo, but they didn't follow us over here. And now we got to go looking for them. And then the wind picked up, and you guys were a couple miles into that bay. I mean, you were like all the way back in there. And like, so Justin and I just friggin' went right into the wind. Like, we got to go. Our walkie-talkies aren't going to carry that. And I don't know if you guys didn't have yours on or if they just weren't working because the batteries were dead or whatever. But we had to paddle for like another 45 minutes to go back and tell you guys that we found a campsite for the shore lunch. Because the only other campsite was where those dudes were. And I was like, I don't know if they don't know there's no other campsites. Like, we got to go to this one. That was like it wasn't like it's a boundary waters. You got nowhere to go and no time you need to get there. So who cares? But you're also like, we're here, but it doesn't matter because we can't. You guys had all the stuff to start a fire, do the shore lunch, all that. It was in your canoe. So we're just like, well, we don't really have a choice. Whether we go back and look for them or not, like, it's not going to go any faster if we don't go and look for them. So we might as well go and look for him. And then when we were around the corner, we're like, oh, shit. I mean, we can see Tor's either he's topless or he's wearing a bright orange shirt, which is great because you're just like, there they are. Like, we know exactly where they are, and they're all the way at the other end of this lake over here. So we had to go back and get your asses.
That paddle back to camp, though, was amazing. Going with the wind after paddling up to rescue them.
Like rescue us. Come on, guys.
Yeah, you had no idea. You'd have been dead without us. I promise you.
All right, guys. That reminded me, we need to buy a bigger solar panel, and I still had Amazon open, and I think a 100-watt panel is going to be pretty amazing for us next year.
Am I going to be able to stream movies though?
Probably not, because where we go next year, we'll have no cell service.
Okay. So this is the first. You want to talk about a low light? Let's talk about a low light. We had on and off spotted cell service.
Yeah, that's a low
light. And to me, that's a low light.
Yeah.
One of the things I brag about to people I work with and my friends and neighbors and everything is that, no, I go on this trip because I love you guys, because it's awesome, because everything's beautiful. But also part of it is because there is no cell phone coverage. If shit is burning down, we won't know until we get back. And that's fine. I love that. But there was cell phone coverage. And I think, Justin, you are the first one to identify it. And all of us have this like addiction to connection and
check
social
email,
media and bullshit. Everything. And when you said that, I tried so hard. I lasted 2 days, and then I turned it on. And then I was like, oh, fuck, I turned it on. But that was a low light that there is now.
Yeah.
What is it? I was AT&T. Justin, were you Verizon? What were
you?
Verizon. Moose, you're Verizon. What are you, Dan?
I got the T maybe.
And all fucking three of those worked. That's awful. ISPs do worse. We don't want you up there. Stay out.
Yeah, stay out of the boundary waters.
No
mining, no cell phone service. Except for the SOS. But that's on the phone.
No, but that's satellite.
Well,
that's fine.
You've got the InReach.
Yeah, we got InReach.
Could you ditch the phones and go back to the old school disposable camera just for highlights?
No, because we need movie night.
My cell phone camera is better. Yeah, and we lose movie night. But like my cell phone camera is better than some like Canon DSLRs, which is ridiculous because I know this since my wife bought a nice DSLR 10 years ago and we get better pictures on our phones now.
Yeah, I like having the phone for
Technology
music
is crazy, man.
and for like playing music when you're in the canoes and stuff. Like that's fun. I don't mind having the phone with. I could do without it for sure. Oh, the maps though. It's nice to have the phone with
Onyx for sure.
and the
Yeah,
maps and like
Yeah.
making sure you kind of are strategically going where you're trying to go.
yeah.
It'd be cool to be a little more lost, but it's also nice not taking the wrong way around the island, even though we still tried to do that a couple times.
We'll be
Efficiency, bro.
more-
Efficiency. Was that Moose?
We'll be more disciplined about it next year. We all fell for it, but
Sure.
Oh,
We fell for it. We got had.
yeah.
brutal.
I think so.
So-
Here's a funny low light. I got another funny low light, which is the one night that we were like prepared for a storm. It didn't storm, and there's just something about a rain day and getting like a cool storm blowing through camp, and like all your gear kind of gets tested. It's memorable. It's kind of
This is
fun
the
in a
first
weird
trip-
way.
This is the first trip I've been on without hail.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
it's weird not having a hard ass storm blow through, and I kind of like
And,
a hard ass
I
storm
mean-
to blow through.
Do you remember when we were taking pictures of the 32-inch walleye and we're all in rain gear? We're in stinking rain gear because it's torrential downpour on a shore lunch, and that's why we didn't return it. Like we didn't release it because we were so fucked by the weather that we
Well,
had to
that
deal
and you
with all
had
these
dragged it
things.
around. That and you dragged it around for 2 hours before we got there, and it's pretty much dead. So might as well clean that son of a bitch.
Details, right? But like having, I'm a big picture guy. Come on, top level, 5,000 foot. But we have always set up such great, not the first year, but such great tent cities that when it's hailing, I pull out my camera and I'm taking videos of look at how this angle is happening, and here's where the ice is going, and here's where the rain is going. And here's a waterfall, but look, it's on a hill and it goes away from the couch instead of towards the couch. And we didn't have that experience because we got what, like a tenth of an inch, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, I
Justin
got one
doesn't
more low
remember
light,
that 'cause
and
he
then
was
we'll bring it
passed
back.
out.
Can I do one more low light before we bring it back
Yeah.
up?
Yeah.
The minnow trap. How many places did we
Yes.
set that thing? And
I was
tried
excited.
every type of bait imaginable. I mean, I knew the pretzels were going to work. The peanut butter pretzels had to catch something,
It should have.
but set it in all these different spots, and all we caught was a dragonfly larva. That was it.
There's no
Bastards.
minnows. There's no minnows up there, bro.
Didn't we see
When
them
I was-
swimming 5 feet
Yeah,
offshore?
we saw plenty of them.
Did you? Oh, I didn't.
Yeah. They were all over.
When I was in British Columbia looking at these like alpine lakes, and when I was in Alberta looking at these alpine lakes, all I could think about the whole time was like, where the fuck is our minnow trap? Look at all these minnows. Look at everything. Because you spit in the water and hundreds of them come up and try to eat whatever it is. Because this is all glacier melt and it's all crystal clear. So you can see it's like Superior. You can see 30 feet deep in the water, but
Mhm.
it's not like Superior because it's also this vivid, bright blue turquoise amazingness. And I just wanted a minnow trap the whole time I was there. Like, I don't know. I don't know if you returned it or what.
No, we're gonna do it again next year. We're gonna keep trying until we figure out how to catch minnows. I think we got to make some pancakes day one and throw pancakes in there.
Well, I
Doesn't
think
work.
it wasn't
You
it
can't
dog
do it.
food or cat food? That's the move, right?
We'll bring a Ziploc bag of dog food.
There we go.
We got room
Yeah,
for that.
it said bread. I'm pretty sure we looked it up, right?
Yeah.
I wanted to crowd it. I didn't give a shit about bait. We had leeches. I mean, they're
Who eats
disgusting.
bread?
Nobody. That's why we needed to make some pancakes. That's the closest thing we got. One pancake in there.
You want to talk about more highlights? Let's bring it back up. More highlights. Moose's breakfast the first 2 days.
Oh, breakfast burritos.
Oh yeah, those burritos.
I stepped it up with venison. Breakfast.
And the parchment paper. The parchment paper was clutch.
Yeah.
We learned a lot of shit over these years.
Hey, I want to say we learn a lot of shit, but we also make the same fucking mistakes. We still did not have any hot sauce.
It was even on my bring list. It was my fault. It was on my bring list.
Oh, shit. Sorry, I thought you were going to say getting a picture with the turtle was going to be one of your highlights.
Oh, dude, that turtle was awesome. I caught a fucking turtle.
I never saw this picture.
Justin's low light was not being able to eat it.
Yeah. Why didn't we make soup out of this?
Dude, it's a turtle. I caught it and I felt bad instantly. As soon as I caught it, I was like, oh, I shouldn't have done this. Justin's gonna want to fucking eat this thing. Like, Moose, quick, take a picture. I'm letting it go. Like, I held it. He took like 5 pictures, and I think I like chucked the thing 20 yards out because I didn't want you to get to it. And then there it was, like 10 minutes later, like right there. I was like, oh, Justin, that's the turtle that I just caught.
It was in front of camp? Where did you catch it?
Yeah. Right at.
Where was I?
He was watching our shoreline. You know what he was probably doing?
Oh, the one that was bobbing along? You caught that one?
Yeah. Yeah. He was big.
Damn.
I mean, he wasn't like a
Was that when I was passed out on the rock?
12-inch, like 15-inch, something in that.
Yeah.
Was it a big painted turtle or a snapper or what was it?
Painted. No, it was a painted.
It's a big old painted turtle.
No, I wouldn't fuck around with a snapper. Come on. Those things are disgusting. I would eat a snapper in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But all right, guys, I think I'm pulling the trigger on 100-watt portable solar panel camping essentials.
How many watts do we have combined with like our 70,000 like solar cells?
I threw mine out.
Not enough.
I threw mine out and I bought a 4,500 amp hours. Does that sound right?
But that's amp hours.
That's for the battery.
Not watts of solar. So I would guess we were maybe at like 20 or 25 total from everything that we had. This thing is 10 pounds and it's 48 inches by 21 inches.
I don't know that we need that one.
And it folds.
It folds down to 24 by 21.
Which might be perfect to slide it in to a pack. It'll just be broken by the time we get in.
Is it flexible?
It looks bigger than like a carry-on. It's thin. It's thin as shit, but it looks like bigger than a carry-on. Yeah, we'll throw it in a pack. We'll see what happens.
Did I bring it up? I can't remember if I told you guys. I was thinking a projector would be the ticket for movie night, though, since the phone screen is, 4 by 6 inch with 4 people watching it. It's tough to get the right angle.
I have one of those somewhere. I just don't know which cabinet.
You'd have to bring a white sheet for sure, but then I don't know how you power the projector.
You need
that's 100 watts of solar.
Solar panel. With that solar
power
panel,
directly off of it though.
We could recharge your lithium batteries every day.
Yeah, and inverter, sure.
New project.
No, it'd go direct.
We need that for like with a 4-man trip. I think the phone is fine, but when we actually pull off an 8-man trip, I think so. Like the phone's just going to be, it's not going to be. You won't be able to be close enough to it to be able to see the movie. So you're going to have to.
How can we get 8 people to commit? It's a challenge, man. Like
it is.
Justin, thank you so much for joining, buddy. Because 3 people trips suck.
That was awesome. I'm super grateful that I actually got to come. That was the best trip. It was amazing.
If we do a 3-man trip, who goes in the middle? Probably Tor. Yeah, probably Tor.
Especially with his back, yeah, he would have been definitely in the middle.
Can you stack gear in in that canoe if you got 3 guys in it?
I don't know. We would have figured it out.
I'm gonna Superman on top of the gear.
You can get perfect tan lines
Dan
that
will be
way.
looking at my butt the whole time. Dan will look at my butt the whole time, and Moose is gonna feel me like playing with his ears the whole time, while I've got a rod in each hand as we're trolling. I got 2.
Paddle.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's all pike though at that speed, right? Isn't that what I heard? The pike are the ones that hit at the high speed.
I'll go a little faster. Yeah. We could figure it out.
After the trip, Tori was talking about an after the trip thing. I took Harper over, or I took the family over to Banks Lake, Eastern Washington. I mean, that was last weekend. And she caught her first bass. She caught a smallie. It was, I mean, maybe a 4-incher. Completely
like
lost
32
her
inches?
mind on a paddleboard. We just paddleboarded out around this point. Used a crankbait. Dan taught me how to do it. I had my Mio and my vodka going. It was exact replica of what we were doing on that trip. She screams. We got a bass boat next to us. All of them are cheering for her. It was amazing.
Nice.
Got the crowd in the background there.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah, that was a supreme highlight. Just being able to learn from this trip and then supply the smallie for her.
It's badass. Kids catching fish is hilarious. They're just stoked. They don't care how big it is.
Yeah.
Every fish is big.
Yeah. Well, and then she got everybody else at the campground into it too. She's telling everybody about it. She had all the kids buying fishing poles from the store. It was awesome.
One of my fondest memories of growing up, that it's come up already twice since we got up to the cabin here. It'll come up every fishing trip I'm on with my dad for sure for the rest of time. Is I was elementary school, some age, 8, 9, 10, I don't know. We're out bluegill fishing and just had like a bobber and a worm down 2 feet, whatever, on this old like retractable rod. And I think my dad let me use it because he's like, well, who gives a shit what happens to that one, right? Like if he throws it overboard or whatever, just like the old push button caster. And I had it out there and hooked up, and I'm reeling and dealing. And I pulled in like a 3-pound largemouth. And at that age, like I was tore. We keep everything. Like everything. Is it a keeper? Is it a keeper?
Yeah.
And I was just distraught if it wasn't a keeper. Right. I wasn't the one that got the final say. Scotty had the final say in it, but we kept that bass, and I proceeded. Speak of the devil. Here he comes.
Score.
Got him.
Score.
Look, hold that thing up. Get back here. Hold that baby up. Hold that baby up. He just walked by with a tiny little bass. But I proceeded to walk up and down that shoreline and show everybody. And immediately I decided that's why they call me Bass. And so anytime one of us catches a bass, it doesn't matter how big it is, it comes out. That's why they call me Bass. And it doesn't matter who catches it. It's just immediately like, that's why they call them Bass. So I was just a tyke and deemed myself Bass, not sea bass, because we all know sea bass, and he picks up the tab for the Boilermakers, just Bass.
The man.
Wait, if that guy over there is sea bass, then yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'll take some of these magazines and beef sticks. Oh.
Did you see his back?
I did see
Dude,
his
that
back.
trip. Every time that we do this trip, I think I'm just getting myself in over my head. And thankfully, 8 years in, it feels like I've got some concept of what's going on, but I really don't. And I'm really never prepared. And the amount of Amazon deliveries to your house before.
They just show up. Marty's always like, what did you buy now? And I'm like, probably Tor.
It's classic because you'll return like 10%, 15% of whatever I have delivered to your house. There's no
what's
fucking
really
way
great
we're
about it?
hiking this shit in.
What's really great about it is if I ever want to like order something that I probably shouldn't, I just order it then. Because there's so much shit showing up, it'll just blend right in. I'll be like, it's Tor buying a bunch of stuff. Let me check this out. I did return the 2-burner, jet boil thing that I got, but I got a jet boil to go along with yours, Moose's, with the coffee device. So we're done percolating. We're just making coffee fast in the future. We don't need to waste wood on a morning fire.
Yeah, that percolator was a little crunchy.
Takes a minute.
Low light on the whole trip. Justin busted the glass percolator. I don't even drink coffee, and that's a low light.
Dude, I did nothing. It was off the heat on that point. There was a slight crack in it the day before. I saw it. I was monitoring. I pulled it off. Shatters. Nothing I could do.
The gear goes through some abuse.
Yeah.
But
I did make a lot of good cowboy coffee.
Like 35 years old.
No, it was like 4 years old. It just looked 35 years old because you put it over a fire one time and that thing is just black. That'll be nice having the jet boil making the coffee off to the side. You get the right amount. You get the French press style.
Was that a stainless steel percolator? It didn't look like it.
Well, with 100 watts, we could just bring a Keurig.
I think I'm pulling this off. Like, this looks nice.
Are you still looking at that big ass solar panel?
Ice maker.
I don't think we need an ice maker. I feel like the cocktails are always the right temperature. I've never had a cocktail up there and been like, it's too hot.
Ice ball maker.
I've got these ice balls. We just need ice balls. So my fridge has like an ice maker in the door, but then down in the lower, it's a French door type of thing, and down lower in the freezer, it makes ice balls for me. They call it the whiskey balls, and we need one of those. We need a whiskey ball maker.
We'll just bring your fridge in next year, and then we need 200-watt solar panels.
Craft ice.
We're gonna have to do an 8-man trip. We're gonna have to do an 8-man trip just to carry all this gear.
We're gonna have to buy some new bags, man.
I did.
To carry the fridge.
Justin, I threw out that dry bag you were using, and I did purchase one like Tor's. Dry bags have gotten cheaper. They're like TVs. Like when I bought that shitty blue one that you were using, just like straight up roll up, that thing was like $50. Now I got one that's a little bit bigger with straps, came with more attachments, like more heavy duty, and it was like $25.
Yeah.
I was like, man,
that'll make for a great front pack. The front pack with the blue one sucked.
Yeah, that blue one's a rough one. But it also has the most capacity of anything by quite a long shot.
Was it that bad?
I got bad news.
What happened to your
So I cut open that bass. He's so full of those black parasites.
Oh, really?
Full.
Huh.
But coming up here, I was drinking beer and I stopped to pee and I got Crocs on. Big mistake. Don't ever do that.
You peed on your feet?
Well, it goes right through them.
That's how you keep the bugs out.
Well, at least your feet won't stink anymore.
You don't pee out there. You goes
gravity, man. You must have been facing up
tip for the day. If you're over 50, don't pee with Crocs on
downhill.
Because your feet are going to get wet.
Is that your dad?
Yeah. Him.
I see the resemblance.
You can tell by the way that he is, or the way that I am.
that first night, trying to pee by the lake.
Almost winning. Knocked about
you fell the correct way. You fell onshore.
That's a skill to use before.
The best is when the guy in the front of your canoe doesn't have his pants on and he needs to pee and he just stands up and pees off the front of the bow.
How
was that, Moose?
Moose, I got this. Just don't worry. I got this. Stands up, takes a pull. God dang
it. Moose immediately stops paddling, holds on for stability.
There's nothing I can do.
Dan, when you come paddling back into camp the first day and Tor's butt naked on the front of the canoe, I was regretting my decision to come canoeing with you guys. I was trying
And
to
he's
plan my
asking
exit
you, and he's
strategy at that
asking you
point.
how gay you are. He's like,
Low,
hey, what?
low light turns into a highlight.
Oh yeah, Kinsey scale's like 27,000 now. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of I won't share the answer with you. I won't even share the question with you. I'll just share the preface. But when we go with Ben, his favorite question to ask is, "Hey, what's more gay?" And you can imagine where it goes from there. That'd be a good one for Tor.
This guy.
Is it owning a box of penis lures?
Pinnacle tour. Pinnacle.
Is it owning a box of penis lures
guys-
or being naked in the front of the canoe?
Hey, I told you I do not like losing. I'm not used to it. I gotta be a winner. That I win that. I win that question.
All right. Tor, it's getting late for you, I know, and we're like 2 hours in here, but anybody got any closing stories, any closing comments? The only thing left I want to talk about is just plans for next year. What we got going on for next year, maybe.
That one's empty.
Oh, there you go. You did a number on that.
This one's close to empty, but I can finish it. We still got 10 minutes, right?
Yeah, we got time. We got time. And we have no agenda. We have no cutoff. But I feel like we hit the main things I want to hit: the highlights, the lowlights, the bullshit, the stories. Anybody got anything that they're like, oh, we got to talk about this thing that we haven't gotten to yet?
I just want to. I'll talk for a bit. I'll rant and give you guys a second, Moose and Justin, to think. Like, this trip is phenomenal. It's something that I look forward to every year. And I don't. Well, you guys obviously know, but anyone else watching doesn't know. I get excited 7 months out. I get excited even more 6 months out. Shit, 5 months out, I'm already buying shit and it's getting delivered to Dan's house. And like, we gotta. Is the L couch okay? Do I need a new one? Let's get a new one. Are you sure we don't need a new one? Okay, it's gonna be okay. Like, did you test it? How many times did you test it?
I
don't
only
wanna show up
tested
and
it
have a
the
hole
day
in it.
before. I only filled it up the day before to mostly see if it needed more glue on it on the hole
But-
from the year before.
But this is a legitimate highlight in my year for being able to, lack of a better term, be a man. Like, just go out and do it. And yeah, we're super gay when we're out there, which Justin can't even deny his new score. But like, it is just so fun to get out and have an awesome time and watch Moose slay the fuck out of the willies while I'm struggling and getting crushed with mosquitoes. But I think that the tour that did this the first year versus when I hopefully get invited to come back next year is such a more experienced outside. I watch Alone religiously. My wife hates it. She despises it. I have to wait until she's snoring before I can turn it on. She hates it so much because it's all I'll talk about. When we're hiking Alberta and when we're hiking British Columbia, I'm like, oh, look, here's a perfect spot to build a house and we could do this and I'd go in here and I'd just be like the guy from season 6. She's like, shut your mouth, keep walking. But I feel like this is my closest experience to being out and being crazy. And I would love to float the idea, not because of the weight, not because of anything, just strictly because of my addiction to Alone TV series. I'd love to float the idea of what happens if we go on this trip exclusively with fish batter, like the Cajun, everything that you do all the time, and oil, and no side dishes and no extras. And we legitimately try to do it of, if we don't catch fish, we don't eat. And I think that would be, that would just take it to the next level. And it'd be difficult for someone like Justin, who this is his first trip and he has no fucking idea what he's flown halfway across the country to go do and to enjoy and to experience this, situation where I can pass out in front of a canoe playing awesome music for everyone that's involved as Dan is doing all the work. No, just kidding, Justin. But like, I think if we turn this into like a man trip, like legit hardcore, I'd probably fail, but that's okay. and it'd be fun. Let's see if we can survive 8 days without bringing any food in.
But we're
And
still bringing out the booze. We're still bringing out the booze, right?
Yeah, we drink our calories.
Tons of booze.
Okay, I
We
was going
might
to
have
ask
to
that
double
question
the booze
too. You
because we don't
can't
have-
you can't do it without the booze. And then
We don't have Bush's baked beans weighing us down, so we can take like 3 times as much booze this time.
so we have to make our shelter.
No. Hammock all the way. That hammock
Okay,
was fucking
where's the
great.
cutoff here, Tor?
I'm
Is
doing it
it
for
lack
life.
of couch? Where are we going here?
Couch there. Couch
Just the
there.
food. Just the food is out.
Exclusively. And you know what? We're still gonna bring the fucking infused Twizzlers or whatever he's got, and the M&Ms.
It's only food that we're not bringing.
Yeah, but like, I mean, it's negotiable. It's an open idea. I'm floating the idea.
Oh,
This
that's
is-
easy. I thought you wanted to
brainstorm.
do it real, like go in and just make it happen.
That's fucking real. If I only have like infused Twizzlers and trail mix and oil and Cajun breading for the fish, like,
Twizzlers were excellent. I loved them.
that's right. But that's 2 bags of ramen and beans and like all
Lot
the
of
different
rice
types
dishes.
of stuff that we brought,
Yeah.
which make the trip wonderful and pleasant. But I'm just thinking, like, how can we move this to the next level? And I
Yeah.
think,
Oh, dude, I'm in. I will kill so many ducks and seagulls and turtles. Like we're gonna eat like
you'll
kings.
kill
It's gonna
them
be
with
way
your
better.
vulgar attacks.
Yeah. There was a swan I probably could have thrown a rock at.
We could have taken out one of those swans, just cast a really heavy bait, wrap around his neck. We could have wrangled up a swan.
Yeah. If we don't camp on an island, I can probably catch a bear somehow. I don't know.
But Dan, that was my closing comment, and also finish the second bottle, so we're good.
Finish the booze.
But-
Finish the booze.
I think if we're up for it, we had talked about another trip where we bring our kids, and that's a separate, unrelated event, which I think would be wildly awesome.
Yeah.
Clearly a different motive, different agenda. But if this one continues down the path, we're still going to have the L couch. We're still going to have the solar and the movie nights and the projector and everything, the tarp city. I just think it would be cool if there's an extra level of like urgency and necessity to like, fuck, we're not eating protein tonight. Boom.
It wouldn't
But
have mattered on
let's
this
not
trip.
do it.
We would have had plenty of protein.
Exactly. On every trip I've been on. I missed the one trip where you guys weren't catching fish because apparently there was a flood, a fire, and an asshole. I don't know. It all like the trifecta.
Sag was tough though. When we did Sag, we were like struggling to get enough fish for a fish fry.
Dude,
We just kept fishing our asses off. Figured it out.
but
We just have to
it was
bring a bunch of
painful
jugs or
just to
make enough
get-
jugs and just
that-
float them the whole time.
That was another situation where we got to a campsite that we wanted and it was taken, so we had to go another mile, right?
No, Sag, we got the campsite we wanted. Like we went right to it.
Did we?
Yeah.
We just
okay.
couldn't
Maybe
get around it.
If
Wow.
we were motivated
Anyways,
enough,
all right.
I would make a long line work. I just didn't give a shit. I just wanted to show you guys how long lining is, but I kind of half-assed
Yeah,
it.
we could have caught fish off of something like that. There's a few
Oh,
different
yeah,
ways
I'll
to do
catch
it.
I
us
just-
10,000 pounds of fish out of that lake. I don't give a shit.
I was just wildly nervous. Like I didn't say it in the moment, but like I was wildly nervous that you had all these jugs out in the lake, and like if any ranger showed up, we'd all be banned from the boundary waters for life, for sure. Like,
We never went above our limit of lines. Now
True.
the long line. The
Debatable.
long line might have been. The long line might have been.
It was
debatable.
a short line, to be honest.
5 hooks. There's only 4 of us.
Yeah, you're
It
right. That would
was-
have been above. That'd have been
I
above.
cut a hook off.
We went.
Actually,
we
there
went
was
out
one hook that
immediately.
was not.
Yeah,
in play.
it didn't. Yeah,
Right.
it never came back. It was never there.
Yeah. No, it came back. It never deployed. It like
Yeah.
wrapped. You found it tied up to one of
Yeah.
the buoys or something like that. But
Right.
Anyways,
so that's part of the
anyways,
line
Moose,
at that
I
point.
bought you some time. What do you got?
Closing comments. I second the whole thing about I look forward to this trip pretty much year round. So Just the planning of it when we get together like a month in advance or whatever, just everything about it. It's the best. So I do.
Go along, Moose. I got
I've always been a walleye person, but I'm kind of jonesing for Lakers. I don't have any of the gear for that shit. Dan saves us on that, but I definitely want to get some Lakers involved in the future. So I don't know. That's about it. I don't have too much else.
I think you brought up a great point. Lakers, man, there wasn't even an opportunity. We didn't even bring the dipsies.
No, there were no lake trout on a lake. We could have gone over to Thomas, but Thomas was like through Alice. You can't get there through Alice. There was another way to get there, but it would have been a commitment. Like get up at 6 a.m. to try to get there and fish for a little bit and get back. It was a long ways.
No.
But next year, if we do south side of Sag, like we talked about, I'll talk about that in a second because I think that'd be a fun trip. But I like to kind of alternate it. Like Lakers are another style of fishing.
Yeah.
Catch less, more gear. You don't have to have more gear. There's always to fish them too, but we're all about efficiency. There's a reason why efficiency is spelled with fish. So, but I think the overall highlight for me is I enjoy like our lives continually get made easier by the world around us and the technology. And somehow we appreciate it less. Like as a society, we all find like more shit to complain about. And so I think I'm always really intentional about my hobbies and trying to keep them difficult and my work to keep it difficult because there's so much. And this is like an aging thing. And you see it in older generations than us. Like my grandpa retired and then like went and got a job. Like he had a better job, but then he went and got a job like doing continual active work to have a purpose. And I worry like technology phases out more and more of our purpose. And when we lose purpose and the ability to do hard work, we also lose joy. Like the best joy we all get is when you problem solve and overcome shit. And if you don't have to solve problems and overcome shit, and there's like technology that does it all for you, we're not happier, right? People aren't happier on social media. It's a cool idea, but it's miserable in a funny way. There's not a lot of joy that comes up. And so I mostly look forward to this trip because to me it means like we're gonna go carry shit for 6 to 7 hours and just go hard and be kicking our own asses to like go out and get away from it all and go do hard shit. And that is like the epitome of fun to me. Is like it's not the old type 1 fun riding a roller coaster, doom scrolling social media. It's like you're just out there living it and doing it and overcoming shit and problem solving and watching Tor put up the most badass tarp city. And so you're just problem solving stuff all the time. And it's like you get weird joy out of like a big ass wood pile, right? Like finding the right trees to cut down and doing simple shit, but like working hard at it. And I love that about it. And you don't get that very much anymore. So I think like that's the win for me is it's just this perfect excuse to get away for a week and go do a bunch of hard shit with a bunch of good people and just work hard. And like the purpose isn't, there's no goal, right? The goal is like, don't get hurt, get home safe to your families, right? And like catch some fish, but there's no parade. There's no like revenue goal. There's no profit goal. There's no business driven goal. There's no like getting the kids to a practice. It's just like, go out, be safe, have fun. Don't be that safe. Just be safe enough and work hard and like just kick some ass. And Tori, you said it's just doing man shit.
Well
I love
said.
that. I gotta make a comment right now. Can I jump in? I don't want to. Your vibe is rolling. I don't want to interrupt.
Hit it.
I'll do it. Highlight, pro tip. Those tarp clips, phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. Highlight of my life. Like, we didn't need it on this trip. I understand. Not necessary. But, like, those tarp clips are life-changing because the grommets and tarps are shit and they're never going to work. But it's this little plastic thing, Josh, you and I, it was less than an hour and we had Tarp City up and we had Tarp City crushing it. And it was a phenomenal Tarp City. We never needed it.
No.
But still it was there. And
It's
considering
like a binder clip or what? I never saw him.
And well, the first year I was with you guys and like Dan had his like
That big ass
thick,
heavy,
heavy black tarp that was tiny tarp, but like it was up and it was down and like the only thing we could fit under it were the bottles of booze and like
we played cards under there. The one day we got rained out on SAG, we played P&A under there.
Well, maybe. And then as soon as that was done, I was like, guys, I'm going to buy the biggest fucking tarp I can find on Amazon and we're going to use this. And turns out I went cheap and that tarp lasted 1 year. And then I was like, okay, I'll get a bigger tarp, but bigger size and bigger thickness. And that also went poorly because I think Kevin kept it in his garage and was like, no one's ever going to hike this shit in ever again. So like there's this happy medium of like, the perfect tarp for Tarp City. I got a tarp from my neighbor, which covered their entire 4,000 square foot house while their roof was getting done. And I was like, of course I want it. It's great. I can't even spread this thing out in my yard. I thought, oh, I'll bring this. This will be great. This will be perfect. And I was like, no, it's too big. I can't believe I'm saying that I have a tarp that's too big. Of course, I still keep it. Like it's in my garage, but
you never know. You never know.
I just don't. Yeah. What if I have to cover half the neighborhood once? Like, but yes, those tarp clips, $10 for what? 40 of them, unbelievable. Oh my gosh!
I think last year was the first year we had them. Last we had them up at Gaskin, and then you did the interwoven.
But we only had 6 of the yellow ones.
Yeah. But last year's Tarp City in the hailstorm, where we had like the couch under one, firewood, and like food under the other. We had because this year we only put up one, like we didn't really need any more. But last year with that huge storm, and they were like both peaked and coming down, and they were woven together at the top. That was a pretty intense Tarp City we had going. That thing worked like a champ too. Did the job. You just never know.
You go first week of June every year.
Yeah. First week of June every year is usually good enough weather. Like you get a little bit of everything, but you don't get too high of water. Oh yeah, there it is. 2 tarps together.
Can you see the green and the blue?
Yep.
Came in handy.
Super did. I like we've done earlier in May, the year Moose and I had our trip from hell, which was still a fun trip, but just different. That was like mid-May. I think we went mid-May.
Knife.
Were you having a kid, Moose, or was I having a kid? We did Knife in May too. You're right, but Knife we had good weather.
Yeah.
The first time in Insula, we did not have good weather.
It was like a week after ice out.
Yeah, it was late ice out, super cold water, super high water, super windy. First week of June is you run into more bugs, but we can deal with bugs. But you get a little bit warmer weather and usually better fishing, better walleye fishing.
But to your point, Dan, like when we have our hailstorm day or when we have our rain cards drinking day, it adds so much. It adds this like turbulent situation that you have to overcome. And here we are beating the shit out of it. And it's just so fun. Because we never lose, right? We never lose.
We've come close, but we're still undefeated.
Probably for me, the hardest part of the whole trip had to be slowing down the first day. So coming in, you're paddling. So running my business, we're going through spring rush. I'm hiring new operations, office manager, like doing all this crazy stuff all during spring rush. Million inputs, have to go 1,000 miles an hour. And then we go drinking a beer at 5 a.m. and then paddling in, going as fast as we can for 20 miles, or how far do we go?
Yeah, about 20.
Yeah. So we're paddling like crazy for 7 hours. And then all of a sudden I got to stop and there's nothing to do. And now I'm like, well, how do I be productive? Right. Like I'm in productive mode all the time. Like, how do I increase this efficiency of Dan drinking? You know, like what do I do? And so that's when I took my first nap. It was amazing.
We noticed you were struggling. I think there were 35 projects that you started.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I whittled a lot of things. It's very hard for me to slow down. I'm either sleeping
there's a lot
or
of dick hitting face as you walk.
It's hard for you to slow down. It's harder for you to finish a project.
Okay, clarify, Tor. It is a whittled dick hitting face.
And that makes it better. How?
Well, all right, sure.
It's more wood. It's wood.
I whittled boobs first.
So wait, it's
I
stiffer,
promise I
it's
whittled
harder.
boobs first.
The boobs
You did
never
whittle
hit
boobs
me
first.
in the face, for the record.
Huh?
The boobs never hit me in the face.
But the dick did?
Oh yeah, it got me good.
This is a good setup.
That's Justin's gay score, or whatever he calls it, right there. He insured.
Yeah. So I was pretty proud of my trap line though. I set up a lot of booby traps. That paracord came in handy. So the first day, the plan was to desensitize you to me setting booby traps, right? So I'm setting up all these fake booby traps, all these circles on the trail, going to a random tree or not tied to anything, just so that you can see them. They're extremely obvious. Then the next day, I come in with the fishing line, and that's where I set the real traps. I think my favorite one was the top ramen that you could never catch.
I don't know if I remember that one.
No.
Did it not catch you? It was right by camp. Tied it off to
top ramen.
Okay, it was a top ramen bag, and it was right next to that tripwire. You walk through it, and it's going to pull away. You're never going to catch that top ramen, and you want it.
Well, I got it, and I think we ate it the second night.
Oh shit! You step over and just grab it.
Yeah, I think that's why Moose and Dan never saw it, because I was like, "Oh, this is food. Let's eat this."
look what I found.
Winning.
Good. It's not expired yet. It's not expired. We're fine.
Wait, Dan, what's an expiration date? That's just bullshit. Like, it's still good.
It's a suggestion. I worked in the food production business. It's a suggestion. It's usually cut in half from what the real expiration date is. That was always our policy back in the day.
I've been told that all my prescription pills are still good for at least 10 years past their expiration date. So that's why I keep them all.
Yeah, they're still good.
Especially
Might be a little less potent, but they're still fine.
I never checked your bottle.
That Tramadol was from like 6 months ago. Don't worry. It's fresh.
It was effective.
I'm down to 2.
There's a reason I didn't play with you guys on that card day.
I'm down to 2 pills because in all of our Canada driving and adventures and hiking, like we did a 17-mile hike with a 2-mile climb, and we did a 20-mile bike ride with a half-mile climb, and like all this nonsense. I was taking plenty of muscle relaxants and Tramadils. I'm out of muscle relaxants now. That whole bottle's gone. But the Tramadol, I'm down to 1. I thought it was just appropriate to keep 1 just because I'm Minnesotan and, You never take the last
You
one.
don't want to take the last one, yeah.
It's effective, but I don't know if that's
Yeah.
sustainable.
I mean, that's rude.
All right. Any other next year.
If
So
anyone
next
listening
year,
is going to Mexico, I will pay you.
exactly.
I'll pay you to buy another bottle.
Copious amounts of money.
Hiring drug mules on our call.
I'm
Not
going to
drug
Mexico.
mules. It's legal.
Sure.
I'm going to Mexico in mid-August. I'll let you know if I run into any.
Dan, I'll call you later.
Next year, game plan. We got to go. We got already in mind. We're gonna need at least 6 or 8 guys because we got to have enough dudes to carry all the shit you guys are talking about, minus the food. Next year, I don't think we do the lack of food. Depends on how many new guys we got. I like the way we do it now. I could probably go less on the ramen and the rice. We got a lot of that, but it's also light, so it just takes up space. It doesn't take up weight. But we got to go Lakers. Got to go somewhere with Lakers. So I believe currently the game plan is go into Saginaga again, but go the south route just for the scenery. And there's a bunch of campsites on the lake south. I forget the first. Is it Seagull, I think, is the first one, and then Red Rock is the second one. Cool lakes, tons of islands. I don't know if they're great for fishing or not, but then if we get in the north part of Red Rock, it feeds into Sag. And then once you get into Sag, there's a deep spot right there where we can troll for the Lakers. And I think that'd be fun to have.
Which one is Sag? Where is it physically located? Is that a gunflint?
It's up on the border. Nope, it's out at Ely, I believe. And it's the first one we went to where we just paddled the whole way across to get to the campsite Kevin wanted to get to. But the wind, if you recall, the 2-3 foot waves that were smashing us when we went across that huge opening were coming from the south. We would just be down to the south. Like there's a little inlet down there where you can get into Red Rock. And so we'd be staying in Red Rock and we'd be able to fish Sag on the south end for Lakers, but then we could fish Red Rock. And I don't know if we'd go into Seagull or not. We sure could, but fish that for walleyes, pike, bass, that sort of thing.
Red Rock Lake?
I think it's called Red Rock. Little Red Rock. Something like that. But it just looks like a cool route to take. And then it gets us close to lake trout fishing, which would be fun.
There's a lake here in eastern Washington. There's a 24-pound lake trout caught out of it. Should we canoe into that?
That'd be. I mean, I think like there's any good lake trout lake has 20+ pound Lakers in it. The question is the average size 2-pounders, 8-pounders, 12-pounders, 20-pounders? Like, what's the age range? The last time we were in Sag, Tony and I, my brother-in-law, caught 4 Lakers or maybe 5. They're all tiny though, but we also we didn't really know where we were fishing. We didn't have the proper gear to fish them the right way. We just had basically like some spoons hanging off of like the rods we were using with just a bunch of lead weights. So we don't know if they're going down 10 feet, 20 feet, but I've got other gear that can get it down to depth. So we'll go a little heavier and carry some heavier fishing gear in to be able to target some deeper fish.
Okay.
Which once you get into June, the bigger Lakers are deep. If you're in May, you can get some nice Lakers up in shallow. They're still like just after the spawn. And that's fun. It's just who knows what weather you're running into. But when you're June, you got to work a little harder for them.
Oh, that'd be cool.
It's a fun one. And when you get one on, you know it. They're banging.
It's not like that. Was that a pike? Oh, no, that was the jug. I didn't think there was anything on it.
On the jug, you're just like, I don't know if there's anything on here. I bet he was tired as hell. He probably been pulling that jug around for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So Dan, when we did Sag, we started, and if I'm not mistaken, did we show up at because I showed up late on my flight. Like, did we show up at like 4:55 and they were gonna stop at 5? And then
No.
we jumped in the boat and we did like
No. That was Knife Lake. That was when we did the south part of Knife Lake. And we took the boat ride in, and then we paddled our asses off, and then I was a diva and I was super dehydrated, so I made you like stop and filter me some water because I was stupid. I didn't have a water filter cup.
Yeah.
And we didn't get to a campsite till like 10. That was nice. Sag was the one where you guys got there at like 9, 10 o'clock at night, and we were on the cabin across the
lake.
And then we proceeded to drink a case of beer after you got there.
Because we needed to catch up.
Yeah, and then we woke up at 5 and went on a 4-hour paddle in big waves.
That was Voyager, right? That was Voyager.
Outfitter?
Might
have been.
They had.
I would probably go out of that same outfitter. That was a good spot.
So we went up, but there was 0 portages.
Yeah, the way we went north and just paddled through tons of big open water. The way I'd want to go this time is go south. It's a little bit longer. There's a couple portages, but just way cool scenery and islands and stuff. I think it'd be fun to sneak around south and like see some new shit. And I think we should camp and we should stay in Red Rock, like north end of Red Rock. Look for some good sites in there, so it's easy to get to Sag if the weather's good and we want to go out on the big water, but also we can stay in by a bunch of islands and catch smaller fish and build the stringer if we need to.
Is that the campsite where Jake was there for a day and caught the biggest northern anyone's ever seen in their life?
Caught the 42-inch northern, and that's where you caught the 32-inch walleye just down that shoreline.
That was day shore lunch. That was shore lunch.
Yeah, we released the pike that Jake caught. That was just an old, skinny son of a gun.
I think I also peed in Canada like 3 times on that trip, so I'm in.
Yeah, we did after those guys got lost and found us twice. Remember those dudes? Got lost and then came to our campsite, thinking we were at thinking they got to a new campsite. And we're like, hey, what's up, guys? And they're like, oh shit. We're back where we were. They didn't have Onyx or anything. They just had maps. They didn't realize they had basically just paddled in a big circle and came right back to us. That was pretty funny.
That was big water though.
That's what I'm saying. That's why we would go around south through some smaller lakes, a bunch of islands, and just cool scenery, and then pop back into the south side of Sag to fish Lakers if we want to fish Lakers. But we're not committed to having to fish Sag. We got other spots and lakes to fish. I think that'd be cool.
I honestly don't recall getting Lakers on that trip. Maybe I'm not remembering.
You did. You were never in my canoe. I always had Tony with me.
Yeah.
We ate some. You told me to not throw out the bones. You were mad that I was.
Well,
that was the first time you were really mad that I was cleaning because you're like, "What are you doing with that?" But we did. Dude, we ended up one of them got mushy because we trolled it around all day. But one day we had 2 or 3 of them that we ate.
Wait, where was the Vista trip where we did the day trip to Vista and you got 2 beautiful Lakers, but the portage just crushed them?
Yeah, we missed one. We brought one back. Bryce and I brought one back from up there. We went up a huge hill to get to a pothole lake up there and got one.
It was almost like nude waterfall quality portage.
Yeah, just didn't have the waterfall. It had a lot of waterfall because it was a huge bank and a big drop, but we didn't. It was super windy when we were on that lake. That was just off of Vista, though. That was the same place that you and Tony fell in, and then you had to sit by the fire for an evening.
All right, I got you. I mean, hey, whatever you want.
This Milwaukee's best is the worst.
It's still bad, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not getting better.
Nope, it's not great.
Wait, out of your 4-pack, how many have you had?
I'm working on the 4th.
Jesus,
I'm muscling through it. I'm telling you, I don't want to pack anything out. I have to leave tomorrow.
I don't know. Back anything
Yeah.
up.
We got to drink all this rum.
I do my due diligence. I'm trying. I'm doing my
Gotta
duty.
drink it all.
I just
right,
did the paddle planner for if we do that route. It's just under 10 miles. It's going to be a piece of cake compared to.
Oh, that'll be so easy. Should we go farther just and then come
Compared
back
to-
up to it?
Whatever. I'm not saying
We'll
it has
have
to.
plenty of
reason-
we'll have plenty of paddling when we're laker fishing out on Sag.
Hell
We'll get
yeah.
plenty of paddling in. Pulling dipsies. All right,
I
boys.
have the saved marker of that campsite. If we can get that again, dude.
No, we wouldn't be
Unbelievable.
going that way. We'd be down on the South Bay. We'd be miles away from that campsite.
Hey, you
We
never
could-
know.
we could
You
troll-
never
we
know
could
when
troll
we
all
need
the way
to
up there.
be inefficient.
Could troll all the way up there. But it'd be fun to see a couple of lakes and see some other shit. But I think there's only like maybe 2 portages if we go that route, Moose, if I remember correctly. I don't think it's super portagey. I think there's like 1 or 2 to get from Gullin to Red Rock. But I think most of it's just going down the creek.
It is 1, 2. Yeah, just 2. Go through
Easy breezy.
Portage into Alpine, Portage into Red Rock.
Okay.
What are they, like 100 rods or fewer?
They're tiny.
Nice.
31
Man.
rods and then 45. And then to get into Sag is 9 rods.
You might as well just like pee.
Yeah.
That's the one where you just carry the canoe over with all the shit in it.
Yeah.
Like when we did Alice and you got that one little portage, you just like throw your shit back in the canoe and carry it all. That's a 9-rodder. All right, that's the plan. That's the plan for next year. We got a plan already. We never have a plan this early on, but now we got a plan for next year. That would actually be a fun one if we can get a 6 or an 8-man trip with some new guys. It's not treacherous. It'd be a nice, easier one to get some newbies going.
And based on feedback, somebody that's
all
not
kinds of
scared
gear.
of tipping.
Yeah, we got all
So,
kinds
Dan,
of gear on that.
Throw out a number. Say first 5 guys that give you $500 are on the list.
Are in. You're in.
Because people don't commit. It's tough. It's such a great
gotta pay up.
experience. Why don't people commit?
It was epic. It was.
And what, like, I sent you guys the Splitwise thing for like everything that we did, like the trip cost, and it was under $500 a piece, wasn't it?
It was like, yeah. $550, right?
I thought it was less than that. I thought it was like 400.
I don't know.
No,
Wow.
Moose made us pay for him. He was strategic.
Oh yeah. Moose had some costs in it. Yeah.
I paid, right?
You paid me.
Then you're
Justin, you might as well just pay again. It's fine. You're
Well,
pulling
can I
out
pay in
money
advance just
in
so I
your
don't forget?
business right now.
Yeah. Well, I will. We'll figure it out going into the winter months, but yeah, I think we'll do that trip. It'll be fun. I think the length is the other thing we didn't talk about, but I think that length of trip is perfect. Where it's like people flying on a Friday, drive up on a Saturday, paddle in on a Sunday, paddle out the next Saturday, so you get a little bit of Sunday and then Monday through Friday to like be in there and just immerse. I think you need enough time to immerse because we've done some like 3-day trips, and by the time you get settled in, you're like, damn, we got to pack up and go.
Yeah.
I thought the length of our trip was about perfect.
I think that was good. That's probably why it's hard to get people to commit, though, especially being June 1.
Yeah.
Like peak, I mean, especially in the pressure washing industry, like that's peak season. So it's hard to disconnect, but a good tester.
Yeah, was your business? Are you out of business since you got back?
Okay, you cut out, but you asked if I was out of business, and yes, I'm bankrupt now. So, but it was worth it, and I'll be there next year somehow.
I'm just not going to Venmo you your $550.
You know that Venmo is gonna bounce, right?
Placeholder.
No, it went well. Like literally some minor stuff, but like stuff runs smoother without me, and I find that out every time. It's a really good tester of your business. You can find the holes. So
Yeah.
like if somebody's watching at 2 hours and 34 minutes, get away from your business and see what happens. You learn a lot.
You learn a shitload. Scary. It's a little scary, but you got to do it or
Yeah.
you won't. This is a good way to do it where nobody can get a hold of you. It's a real test.
Yep.
A real test. All right, boys. I'm out. Any finals? Any finals?
The final is
Final,
that I
final.
still
Big
have the
ass, big
record. It's
names.
only 2 hours and 35 minutes.
You're right. You still hold the record. I think you hold the record and the second record.
Going for
The longest
third next
podcast.
year. Fuck yeah.
yeah.
How many Busch Lights can I drink?
As many as you want.
Dan, do you need us to keep talking shit? I can talk shit.
No.
Go ahead.
good.
I'm gonna leave.
I
I'm
got
going to bed.
I
Fuck
have
you
a
guys.
6:30 a.m. I got a 6:30 a.m. meeting, so I'm the one trying to dip out.
Dan.
I'm like I got early
Dan,
shit to do.
I'm a winner.
I know that. I know that.
Door goes
son-
8 hours
my
and
son-
29 minutes.
My son will walk up to me at 5:56 because his alarm goes off at 5:55, and he'll poke me on the arm and say, "Dad, let's play Fortnite. Come on, Dad, let's play Fortnite." The only reason he has an alarm is because he's not allowed to leave his room until the alarm goes off.
Keep him in there. He's ready to go.
He's awake. He's ready to go. But
Well, Tor, if you beat it with Dan, like do a one-on-one. Get what was it? 310.
Yeah.
well, Justin, with your new score, if I want to beat it with Dan, I think you need to be involved, just based on your current score. So
No, I mean, are you competitive or not?
no, what was your gay score after this trip?
Oh,
Like
27,000. It's 27,000 on the Kinsey scale.
So if I want to beat it with Dan, you need to be involved.
Yeah,
Oh, I gotcha.
that would increase the score.
Come on, buddy.
It's exponential. It's exponential.
I'm out. See you guys. Should I just hit leave right now? I almost hit the X.
All right. I'm gonna close you guys out. This is it. Home service homies. You guys know what to do. Work smarter and harder. Go earn yourself some pride. Get out and do hard shit and have some fun doing it. Peace.